sheriff that's the head of law enforcement in Jacksonville/Duval County. And I know how to work toward making this city safe.
We can't be shy about speaking on things such as faith and politics. We have to remember, in a free society, the public square belongs to all of us.
I'm not interested in North Florida looking like Orlando or Miami. I love where we live, but I think that good jobs means that people that live in this district can stay in this district.
Fishing and hunting is funding a large part of your conservation projects in Florida, and we want to make sure that those are forever preserved.
And the problem with this industry at this point is that they actually target our youth. You can see it in their marketing strategies where it's bright colors, fun names.
And that's going to be endlessly litigated.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? Now might be the perfect time to go on offense and seize the opportunities presented by the new pro-business environment ushered in by President Trump and his administration. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you. They create strategies designed to help manage taxes, control risks, and boost your financial confidence. It's a forward-thinking approach that can strengthen your foundation so you can enjoy the lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve. If you're ready to see how Alfie's team can help elevate your plan, call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and discover proactive strategies to help you thrive in an ever-changing world. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Let Alfie Townsend and the Advantage Retirement Group team guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
I've been dipping snuff for well over 30 years. You know, I could wake up in the morning and have a weird lump in my gums. Guess it's like playing Russian roulette, really. I would love grandchildren. And if by quitting it extends my life some, I would gladly lay it down.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
Today, push harder, push forward, push vigorously.
There are things that I am hiding from people that I'm trying to inspire.
You can do whatever you set your mind to.
I feel like a hypocrite a lot of the times.
Don't give up on yourself ever.
Smoking, I hide it because I'm ashamed of it. I want to get out of the shadow. I want to show people there is light away from the darkness. I am going to quit.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and you know I love the Floor Meisters in Naples. Locally family-owned business, 3 generations of Meisters. Listen, what are you looking for? Carpet, tile, hardwood, Core-Tech? Maybe that's what you're looking for. And why don't we talk to TJ Meister right now of the Floor Meisters and find out what's going on with Core-Tech. What's up, TJ?
Well, we're just keeping up with the demand for Core-Tech. Just had to order a truck and bring it in from the west coast of the United States to keep up with all the needs and wants of the people of Southwest Florida. Somebody doesn't have it, give me a call. I probably do.
I tell you, I love my Core-Tech floor. People love it. What is it about it that makes it so awesome?
Well, it's waterproof, kid-proof, pet-proof. So if you got a pool, no problem. If you got a dog, no problem. If you got a husband that spills, no problem.
Floor Meisters, that's who I trust, and you should as well. 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples. 239-596-4964 for the Floor Meisters.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE 40. 855-SHARE-40.
Thank you for waking us all up out here, for all you do. And
thank you for giving us a voice.
For being out there helping to keep the constitutional republic. I want to thank you for
your support for veterans in the military.
Educating us.
Standing up for conservatism.
Giving us the truth.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Well, hey, everybody. Glad you're joining us today on Florida's Voice. It's Drew Steele. Big D is back at the studio on the other side of the glass, and Nina's in the breaking newsroom. A lot of news out there we're going to get to today. We are live here in Tallahassee. We're on the 4th floor, Rotunda, right outside the Senate chambers, where we've got a busy start to the legislative session 2026 style, and we got a lot of great guests coming up today so we can discuss some of the things that are going to be happening here in the state, may or may not be happening. And just a reminder to everybody who is listening, when we are here in Tallahassee and we talk about the legislative session and we talk about all the different things that are going on across the state of Florida, as we are Florida's Voice across the state of Florida and around the world at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook. But just remember that everything that's going to be happening here this legislative session, as always during the legislative sessions, you want to talk about things that are tangible right away, boom, just like that, in your communities, in your towns, in your cities. This is where it's all at. So the things that will affect you the most. So it's always important to keep an eye on everything that's happening, as we do. So we've got Senate President designate Jim Boyd, who's going to be joining us coming up in a few more minutes. We'll talk about leadership role, and we'll also talk about, the property tax issue, the insurance issue. We'll talk about affordability issue. We're going to talk about all of these things coming up. So we've got guest after guest after guest lined up to be with us all afternoon long, so we're looking forward to it. There's also a lot of news that's going on around the country. And just so everybody understands a couple of different things that have taken place. Number one, I don't know if anyone is still considering or thinking, or you're wondering, hey, going into a church is probably a really bad thing for anti-ICE protesters, and that's kind of like a Rubicon in the line and everything that we talked about yesterday and many, many other people are talking about. But you know what? I'll bet you there are some moderate Democrats that are I'm sorry, it almost hurts to even say that. Let me finish what I was saying without laughing. Okay, I'll try not to. There's got to be a moderate Democrat or two. There's got to be somebody out there that's like, yeah, whoa. We don't go into churches. We're not doing that. And so you would imagine you'd probably hear a lot of those moderates out there because this seems like a line that nobody wanted to cross. And I wonder if there are some Democrats that are out there that are thinking that way. How about this one? Adelita Grijalva, Democrat of Arizona. She's a representative in Congress, and she was being asked by CNN yesterday. What do you think about this here?
Do you believe it was a step too far for protesters to go into a church?
Yeah, so now we're looking for the moderates. Remember, we're looking for a moderate. Anybody who's moderate on this position, we're just trying to find somebody who's like, yeah, that's a little too far, right? And what does she say? Come on.
I don't.
No.
I don't.
No.
I think that when they find out that someone that's supposed to be speaking for the community in church is found out to be an ICE, like a federal agent that is running ICE in their communities, they have the right to go in there.
No. They actually don't. And again, this is the mentality. The mentality is, hey, did you know that there's something called the FACE Act and you're not allowed to do this? And it is against the law to do. No, because we're Democrats. Is that how that works? Like, I'm trying to figure out what it is. Where's the moderate Democrat? Help me out with this. No. And she says, what?
Churches have always been an open door.
Churches has always been an open door. So if you want to disrupt service, by all means, enter. No problem. Is that what you think?
And from my understanding in the videos that I saw, those protesters were not violent in any way.
Okay, so it's not even about this. What they're not understanding is you don't disrupt the church service because you know full well that you wouldn't go into any other house of worship, and you know what I'm saying. So there you go. If you're looking for the moderate Democrats out there who are like, hey, we gotta really ramp this down a little bit. This kind of rhetoric, maybe we'll allow for the rhetoric to keep going and going. But when it comes to entering a church, maybe it's that's like a bridge too far. Maybe that's like a line cross. Maybe that's a Rubicon that we've entered. And now they're still onto this. Why? They obviously feel like this is a winning proposition. They feel like entering that space is a winning proposition. I don't think it is, but for Democrats, at least for the party, it looks like nothing is going to change. Speaking of nothing is going to change when it comes to the Democrat Party. By the way, we're in Tallahassee. We're on the 4th floor in the rotunda in front of the Senate chambers here on Florida's Voice as we are doing the show live for the next few days, today and tomorrow. We got great guests. We're waiting for Senate President-designate Jim Boyd to arrive in just a couple of more minutes. But just a reminder, we have a supermajority in the state of Florida. How do we keep that supermajority? Well, it's legislating well. It's getting results on the other side of that legislating. And when you ultimately get to that place, then you can keep all of this going. You've got to do a good job. Okay. Now, on the Democrat side, what are they offering? Here's Mickey Sherrill. Mickey Sherrill just won the race to be governor of the state of New Jersey. That was just recently, as if we were paying attention. We know this just happened. And, okay, we have heard about people who have been sworn in, I think, in Virginia. I think the lieutenant governor of Virginia was sworn in on a Quran. Can you top that one? I think Mickey Sherrill, well, maybe not, but I think Mickey Sherrill wanted to try because she was sworn in on a copy of what? Let's see. Hold on a second.
New Jersey State Archivist will now present William Patterson's bound copy of the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, the United States Constitution, and Declaration of Independence to Jason Hedberg, husband of the governor-elect.
Where's the Bible? Where's the swearing in on the Bible? So no, there's no swearing in on the Bible. Here's where it lands. It's the swearing in on the documents that they hold as the highest religion of all. That's right. So you have Mickey Sherrill, the brand new governor of the state of New Jersey, who just got sworn in on a stack of the New Jersey State Constitution instead of the Bible. Now, there's some people that are like, hey, that seems kind of strange. It feels like you really religiously care about government as a religion more than you care about, I don't know, your faith or the Bible, God, as it were. And you'd be right about that. And so remind me as to why it is that we would want that anywhere in the state of Florida. Like, why would we believe that that there are more people who feel like that is satisfactory than otherwise? I still say, and I still feel like that were it not for very specific regions and areas and getting out the vote in a lot of these states, whether it's Virginia or New Jersey, you don't have this kind of landscape happening like we discussed yesterday in Virginia. Again, don't miss the lead here. Why am I talking about all these things before we talk about some of the legislative session where we are in Tallahassee? Don't miss the lead. The lead is this could happen here if not for good legislators, if not for people who get it, if not for the vetting process of the people behind the scenes to make sure that the ones that are elected officials in the areas across the state that get the opportunity to go to Tallahassee, that we do our due diligence and being that way. So this is a cautionary tale. But like we talked about yesterday, you know, Abigail Spanberger, who's the new governor in the state of Virginia, has basically said to everybody, I'm a moderate, I'm a moderate, I'm a moderate, and then I'm elected and I'm not. Like, literally, and I'm not. And I'm doing all these crazy things, including, a lot of it is going to have to be voted on, but a lot of crazy leftist ideology and ideas that certainly she is helping those who helped to get her elected, clearly. But on the other side of that also is the other very important issue, which is going from 5 to 4, right? From the 5 to 4 Democrat to Republican to 10 to 1, changing the maps. This is again a cautionary tale, is what it becomes, and that's the reason why we keep an eye on it. Senate President Designate Jim Boyd sitting right next to me as we speak. You want to grab that headphone, grab that mic, sir? Go ahead. It's great to see you.
Good to see you.
All right, grab that microphone. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
You look sharp.
Well, thank you.
Like that
Do I
quarter zip?
was just going to say, do I look cold? Because that's how I feel.
You look very senatorial.
Do I really? Ooh, well, look at that. That's very nice. Everything is fantastic. Hey, before we get started into a little more depth of some of the things that are going on, I did appreciate that, and I feel like for some reason this legislative session right now, even though we're just beginning, I feel like there's not like a sense of urgency, but there is let's hit the ground running and let's get some work done. And it feels like there's a lot of things that are happening fast, but in a good way. Am I wrong about that?
I don't think you're wrong. Good observation. I think we a little bit slow, maybe coming through committee weeks. Not a lot of bills were filed. We heard some bills. We had some committee meetings. Right after the holidays, a lot of bills came in.
Yeah.
So lots of things are getting referred, and committees are starting to hear them. And I think there's generally a little bit of excitement of, hey, we're back, session's on, let's get going, let's do the work that our constituents set us up here to do. So I think there's that bit of enthusiasm right now.
It feels that way. Yeah. It's a good thing. So let's talk about some of the things that you've been looking at. I mean, obviously people talk about affordability and what we're doing here in the state, and they're concerned about property taxes and insurance and the like. Maybe we start with the tax issue and some of what you've been talking about with others here with regard to what we're doing.
Yeah, I think property, thanks, Drew. And thanks for having me on the show.
Oh, of course. It's always great to see you.
Likewise. Property taxes are on top of mind with everybody.
Yeah.
The governor came out early on saying, let's abolish property taxes. The House has advanced, I think, 8 proposals. The Senate's working on some ideas and some thoughts. I don't think anybody right now feels like abolishing property taxes entirely will work. And there's a lot of local government services that rely on them.
Sure.
Can we tighten our belts, across the state? Certainly we can, and there ought to be ways to do that. I believe there'll be a property tax proposal that we'll be able to put before the voters on the ballot for next fall. I don't know exactly what it looks like yet, but I really firmly believe that the House, the Senate, the governor will come together at the end of the day and do something that's meaningful for the voters in terms of some property tax relief.
Yeah, I think that's the because people talk to me and they think of look, they don't mind that there's going to be debate and discussion on all of this. There's a lot of great ideas out there, but at the end of the day, they don't want to miss this opportunity. I feel like, but we have to get it right.
The devil, as they say, is in the details.
Yep.
But I think all of us feel like we pay more for property taxes than maybe we should or ought to. We all pay a lot, and I think there's, part of it is simply over the past handful of years, property values have risen somewhat dramatically across the state. Thus, have property taxes as well because it's tied to value of your home. So. Could we live a little bit more frugally as communities in the state? I think we can, and I think therein lies the kind of the meat of the issue that we need to get our arms around. How do we trim back a little bit while not crippling local services specifically?
Yeah, because I always thought that it's always interesting to me how everybody understands what it means to live within your means. You have to in your home. Sometimes you gotta tighten the belt. Sometimes you just have to be smart with the money.
That's exactly right.
Now, when it's my tax dollars and it's going out and it's giving it to someone who we are believing are good stewards of that money, I would assume that they would be doubly as cautious as to what they're doing. And there's no reason why we can't talk about certain areas around the state tightening up their budget a little bit, seeing what it is that they can do. I don't find anything wrong with that.
No, I think I agree with you, and I think most people do. And most people that we talk to and that we poll say some property tax relief is something we would like to see. total elimination of property taxes. Most people don't think that that's really possible. So I think there's a balance in there that it's our job to strike and to make sure our constituents are looked out after, most importantly.
Yeah, Senate President-designate Jim Boyd joining us on Florida's Voice. Always great to have him. The insurance rates, you know, one of the things that people have been talking about, the governor's been mentioning this, and how it feels like there was a time when people said, for example, with homeowners insurance, even auto, that companies were going to go away and never were going to come back again. As if you want to just dismiss the Florida market altogether, which seems that seems like a crazy idea, number one. But want to make sure that the positive news, the good things that we're hearing, that they stay consistent. We keep moving in the right direction. What are your thoughts right now with regard to what is going on with insurance?
Sure. Well, Drew, as you know, we had a crisis 4 or 5 years ago.
Right.
Companies were leaving. Some companies, fortunately, went bankrupt. Frivolous lawsuits that were just crippling the market. And we were in dire straits. We passed property insurance reform in December of 2022. We said then when we were passing it that it would take 18 months to 2 years to start to realize the benefit of it, and we're seeing it. We've got 17 or 18 new companies here. Rates have stabilized for sure, and in many cases are going down.
Right.
All of us, myself included, still pay a lot for property insurance, but those rates are going down. The competitiveness is back in the market. The frivolous lawsuits are gone for the most part, and it's starting to work, and people are starting to realize that it is a better system than it was. Reinsurance is more available. Capacity of reinsurance is more. Reinsurance is more available generally. Capacity is more available, and rates have gone down there too, which all drives rates down. And the more markets and the more we bring to Florida in terms of options, the more competitive we'll be, and we're heading in that direction. Right. And I think we haven't seen the bottom of the rates. I think we'll still continue to see a downward movement of those homeowners insurance
Because I think
rates.
a lot of people feel like what we did in 22
22
was really good.
Yeah,
really good. Don't want to mess that up.
Right.
We want to keep everything. We want to keep this momentum going. We don't want to have. I don't know what kind of nibbling around the edges you can do to strengthen, or more that you can do in a legislative session. But as far as anything major or getting rid of or moving things around, people get concerned about that. Nothing like that.
No, not at all. And I agree with you. We've got to let the reforms we put in place take hold.
Right.
And we're seeing the benefits of those, and we'll only see greater benefits as we move forward. So down the road, 2-3 years from now, if there's things that we need to do to kind of nibble around the edges, as you say, yes. But right now, let's let the reforms we put into place work, and we're seeing the benefits of that. Yeah. And I think our constituents are starting to see the benefits of it as well.
All right, before we go, budget process, all of that's along the way. How are we doing?
Yeah, we're having conversations back and forth with the House. You know, usually week 3 or 4, we start to see some budget proposals come back and forth. So I'm hopeful that this is week 2. So week 3, probably not. Week 4, hopefully we'll have some momentum starting to build between the House and the Senate and getting the budget process going. That's the only thing, as you know, by Constitution we have to do.
Right.
It's important that we do it. And again, that's an area where we've just got to be good stewards of taxpayers' dollars. And the process generally works, and it generally works out well in the end. A lot of, as they say, the sausage making isn't pretty, but in the end it generally comes together and something we can be proud of. And hopefully this year we'll see some lowering of tax rates as well for our constituents.
Yeah. You mentioned sausage, and the first thing I think of is food. I'm thinking that a nice, like a nice bowl of pasta, a hot. I'm not used to this cold.
How about sausage gravy? Yeah. This cold weather.
That's the thing, but you know that. So what is your go-to cold weather meal then? What are we going to? Is that sausage gravy?
Well,
what are we going to?
In the morning, I don't eat a lot of breakfast, but that would be my pick in the morning.
I'm the same.
And if this weather stays this cold in Tallahassee, I'm going to move to Florida at some point.
It's like I left on Sunday. I've been making this trip up here. I left on Sunday. It was 78 degrees. Yeah. That cold front came through, and it was like the snap of a finger. And it's like, what happened? And then I told my wife, I was like, I'm running into the belly of the beast, being the cold.
Actually did.
Yeah, and it's I'm one of those people. All right, I know I love talking to you so much.
Good.
I'm one of those people that I'll take a hot shower and everything, and then at the very end I take a cold shower, like I do cold.
Yeah, I'm not that aggressive.
Yeah, I'm that aggressive.
Well, you're in good shape. There's
a Southwest Florida cold coming out of the shower, and there's a Tallahassee cold coming out of the shower, and I just hit that here this morning.
Well, I'm the guy that jumps in a cold plunge and jumps right out.
Right,
So
that's my cold plunge.
Stays.
That's my cold plunge.
Thanks so much.
All right, sir. Listen, great to see you.
Great
All
to
the best.
see you.
God bless. Looking
Thanks.
forward to the next time we get together.
Hey,
Okay.
You're always welcome here. Thanks for being here.
All right, we appreciate you. Good to see you again. That is Senate President-designate Jim Boyd joining us on Florida's Voice. Always appreciate a few minutes of his time. I know he's busy. It's busy. A lot of stuff going on. So, yeah, I definitely am that guy. Dee, did I even tell you about this? I don't even know. Forgive me, a little inside Drew Steele baseball. You're going to have to do it right now. We're live in Tallahassee, by the way. We're at the Capitol, 4th floor, Rotunda, right in front of the Senate chambers. Dee, did I tell you that? So my wife's new thing is, well, no, I did tell you, right? The grounding, bare feet grounding in the morning. And then did I tell you about the cold shower? About at the very end of the shower that I shut off all the hot water and then I do at least 30 seconds of cold. Dude, I don't know how anybody does that anywhere but South Florida, because South Florida, Southwest Florida, tap water when it comes out, and it's like quote unquote cold water. It's not cold. It's not cold. It's not that kind of cold. It's not New York, New Jersey, North Carolina, Northern Florida cold water, because I did it this morning in the shower, getting out the last 30 seconds, and I was like, ow, what? Hey, oh, like it was painful, which I can imagine the cold plunging is probably painful. I don't think I could do the cold plunging, but anyway, all right, we digress. All right, I know I'm looking at the time, want to make sure we have enough time to hit break. Let's see, Danny Alvarez scheduled to join us. Representative Alvarez coming up in just a little while from now. We've got a loaded scheduled to join us today kind of situation. So as things move and change, we're not really sure how things will go, but just because it's very busy, as you can imagine, here in Tallahassee. But looking forward to more conversation on the way. And again, I don't want people to miss this because, oh man, there's so much. The President of the United States was talking a little earlier today. We got to play some of the presidents. Senator Don Gates was laying out why his bill lets churches use armed volunteers for security without costly licenses. Again, this is what the state of Florida does so well. Like, we step it up. Like, we realize what's going on in other places around the country. We're like, no, we're not doing that here. And so after what happened at the church in Minnesota, his bill that he may end up talking to us. I believe we're going to have him on the air soon. Is definitely going to be interesting with regard to this very topic. So, and as he was saying, safety can't be taken for granted anymore. Not that it was taken for granted before, but much, much different now. All right, so we will have Top of the News Voice Newsroom coming up. We will have more live from Tallahassee in just a little bit with great legislators who are going to stop by. And also, as we look at some of the headlines that are out, first of all, Adam Schiff was on a podcast recently, and I just want to make sure something.
Got the smallest, thinnest neck I've ever seen.
Yep, still that guy. He was being interviewed by The New Yorker, and he was asked about the Russia collusion hoax that he was neck deep in, that big, thin neck. Did he have a chance to do a mea culpa? Oh, no. Wait till you hear what he said and more. Coming up live in Tallahassee is Florida's Voice.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA. It is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families. And one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and I have to tell you, when my wife and I talked about getting new kitchen countertops for our house, we know who to call. Rock Solid Countertops and More, 2240 J&C Boulevard in Naples. and they have been absolutely amazing. Hugo and the team are the best. The workmanship has been absolutely incredible. The install was so easy. The process was perfect. Taking everything out, bringing the new stuff in. The quartz countertop is unbelievably beautiful, and my wife is super happy, I'll tell you. You know they have the best quality and selection of marble, quartz, granite, and a one-stop shop for all of your kitchen, outdoor, and bathroom needs. I've known it for years. I've lived in Southwest Florida 40 years. There was really only one place I was going to go. It's rock-solid countertops and more. I would suggest you give them a call, 596-7676. They're at 2240 JNC Boulevard in Naples. Find out what they can do for you. Countertops, cabinets, plantation shutters, they do it all. Rock solid countertops and more.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into. And that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE 40. 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Since the dawn of time, man and wildlife have shared a connection, and hunting traditions passed down from generation to generation have connected man to the natural world, from bow and arrow to hook and bullet. As man evolved, our link to those traditions remain with them forever. Yet today, our basic instinct to provide and as part of the hunt to conserve and appreciate the natural world has fallen under attack for the first time in human history. The misguided politicians and radical activists pushing an agenda to end hunting as we know it, or leading a war against our heritage and their misguided policies and protests. They demonize hunters and belittle our way of life, the results of hunters leaving the sport in droves, while our wildlife and ecosystems suffer the consequences as conservation funding dries up. Named after the father of the North American model for wildlife conservation, the International Order of T. Roosevelt is fighting in the arena to protect and expand the rights of hunters everywhere. We will fight back against these forces to make sure that every American has a right to hunt, enshrined in their state constitutions. We will educate the next generation in our traditions and seek to expand accessibility so that everyone can enjoy our pastimes. And we will continue to hold true to our namesake's efforts to protect, preserve, and ensure open access to our nation's wild lands. Teddy Roosevelt's vision for American conservation defines our modern hunting and conservation system, a system upheld by the idea that conservation efforts are crucial to our hunting way of life, and that hunters are crucial to successful conservation.
To some, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much, but that's not true. They're testing out vowels and consonants and trying different sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on meaning, especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? It's time to shift gears and seize the fresh opportunities this new pro-business environment has to offer. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and the team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you, helping you go on the offense with advanced tax strategies, thoughtful risk management, and forward-thinking financial planning. Imagine enjoying the retirement lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve, all while staying one step ahead, and in a changing world, you've you've got to do it. Alfie and his team design personalized strategies to strengthen your financial foundation so you can focus on living life on your terms. Ready to find out more? Text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, you can call or text 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and see how a proactive approach can help you thrive no matter what the market does next. Don't wait. Call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470 right now.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Anytime you want to watch it, FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, Facebook, and Instagram. Although right now we are at, well, we're not in studio. We're in Tallahassee. We're in the 4th floor rotunda right in front of the Senate chamber here on Florida's Voice. And we would love to see you if you're in Tallahassee and you're listening to the sound of my voice and you're like, hey, I'm heading down there. All right, well, stop by the table, say hi. We've had a few different people stop by and say hello. It's very nice, very kind. It's starting to fill up. Lots of people coming in right now. And they all look cold. Every single one of them. They do. That's all. All right. Top of the news from the Florida's Voice newsroom.
Top of the news. Florida's headlines. Now.
All right. Who's got it for us today? I don't know. I can't see back in the studio, so I'm not sure. So now I got to wait for D to say something. Who is it? Is it AP in the Florida's Voice newsroom today? I'm not sure who it is, but I guess we'll find out together in just a second. Let's see who it is.
Hey, Drew.
Hey. Hey, wait, it's Michelle Vesserina. All right. That's all right, Michelle Vesserina. Hello, Michelle.
Hey, Drew.
Hey.
Topping the news at this hour. We've all heard about the shortage of nurses in Florida, and now Governor Ron DeSantis has just earmarked millions of dollars to grow that industry here. At a news conference today, Governor DeSantis said he is adding an extra $20 million to nursing programs. The funding will help state colleges, universities, and private schools train more nurses with grants for scholarships, faculty, and simulation equipment. DeSantis says these programs now produce over 1,000 additional nurses each year, a key step to keep up with Florida's growing population. DeSantis says that since 2022, Florida has invested nearly $500 million into nursing programs. If you are following news out of Minnesota, you probably heard about protesters storming into a church service on Sunday, disrupting parishioners who were listening to the pastor. The protesters were screaming and yelling at parishioners and calling them fake Christians. And now the DOJ is promising action and consequence. Well, here in Florida, Senator Don Gates' bill on armed volunteer security at worship sites just cleared a Senate panel today. The measure would let volunteers carry firearms without a professional license as long as they have a concealed carry permit, pass background checks, and follow a plan approved by the local sheriff. Gates says it's a sad necessity, but he hopes it helps congregations protect themselves against potential threats. Florida Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna has been appointed to the House DOJ Committee. She says Republican Congressman Tim Burchett, who was named chair earlier this month, selected her for the panel. Luna posted on X that she's excited to work on policy discussions around digital assets and emerging technologies. Burchett has not commented on her appointment yet, but he said he plans to focus on eliminating waste and fraud in government. And that's all for now, but I will be back in our next hour. Florida's insanity defense under fire after a man previously acquitted on insanity grounds is charged with killing 3 tourists in Central Florida. We'll have the latest details and what the Attorney General says next. I'm senior reporter Michelle Vesserina for Florida's Voice. Drew, back to you.
All right, Michelle, I appreciate you hanging out with us here on Florida's Voice and doing that news report. Anytime you want to check out the stories that they're working on, FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook, but also flvoicenews.com, the website. You can go there and see everything that they are working on as we speak. All right, what else we got going on? Live in Tallahassee, 4th floor, we are right now for the beginning of the legislative session. Representative Danny Alvarez scheduled to join us in a few more minutes. We're just waiting for his arrival. But as we do, let's check out some of the other stories that are going on. The President of the United States has a few things to say. Had a couple of things that he was bringing up, including when he was talking about illegals in this country. This is very interesting because obviously there has been debate among Democrats, Republicans, and Republicans, the president and Republicans, the president and the world about illegals in this country. But there also has been something very important that has been going on. And it is all about the fact that what we have been trying to do, what we are trying to accomplish here in the United States is very obvious, and it is the removal of criminal illegals from this country. The president was showing the faces of different individuals at his press briefing today, where he was mentioning the fact that we have caught a lot and we're trying to get a hold of a lot of criminal illegals in this country, and the people who are suggesting that they can march into churches and disrupt church services because they are anti-ICE, because they believe that they're removing American citizens, is ludicrous at best. And the president did say something that was very important as he was bringing this aspect of it up. Listen.
Many countries opened up their prisons and dropped them into the United States. Those are the people who are getting out. And we have a lot of heart. They said, you got to lighten up on this. We have a lot of heart for people. They came in illegally, but they're good people, and they're working now on farms, and they're working in luncheonettes and hotels and all. And we're looking to get the criminals out right.
Yeah, we're looking to get the criminals out right now, and we can't even get the criminals out. So when the Democrats are trying to side with anybody who is anti-ICE, and the suggestion is because they're going against citizens, the president's like, listen, you got people that are working on farms and hotels, and we're not looking to get anyone except the criminals out right now. And to him, that's very important to recognize.
Right now, the criminals. And I think it's very important. I mean, every once in a while you see a story, we take somebody. He should be out because they came in illegally. So in theory, they should be. But we're focused on the murderers, the drug dealers, the mentally insane. We have a lot of mentally insane killers. I mean, you can't even talk to them. It'd be nice if you could have a little reason, but you can't even reason. These are seriously ill people.
Seriously ill people the president is talking about. So again, when the president has been talking about getting rid of illegals in the country, and he's talking about the criminals and the criminal illegals, and then you have people who are suggesting that they want to get in the way of ICE doing their job under the guise of where you're going after American citizens. That's not what's happening, and it gets frustrating to the point where the president has to say, listen, this is who we're focused on. And it might be another discussion another day. Well, the president was saying, look, the good people that are working on farms and hotels and everything else, we're not looking for them, we're looking for the criminals. I might say that I'd like to find anybody who's been in the country illegally, but that's a whole other subject for the moment. All right, Representative Danny Alvarez joining us right now on Florida's Voice. There's the mic. There he is. What's up?
Brother.
How are you, man? Great to see you.
I feel like pinching you and
like I'm real. Yes, I'm real.
I feel like we talk all the time. This is the first time in my life I've ever seen you.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, it's great to see you. I am alive and I'm freezing, as you could tell.
I know you look very cute with
the Senate President.
Sweater.
I know the Senate President designate Jim Boyd was like, "Look at you! You look like a senator. You got your little sweater on and everything else." I was like, "Wait a second."
You're doing a very good Danny Burgess. Right now.
Thanks. Oh wow! All right. All I'm doing is trying to stay warm. That's all I care about.
You're doing good.
All right. So how have you been? How's everything? First of all, how's everything been going? Start.
It feels like week 7.
Yeah.
It's so jam-packed, and we've been doing so much that, like, it's only day 1, really, of week 2, and I feel like we're in week 7.
That's what I said. That's what I said to Jim Boyd. I said that same thing. It feels like everything is moving fast, and it's not a bad thing.
No,
it's just that everybody's focused.
Yeah, normally there's like a ramp-up period, but we've got bills. We were on the floor. We passed things off the floor. I was shocked that actually happened. And today at committee, we went almost all the way, 9 bills in my committee. Yeah, 9 bills.
Wow.
Big ones, too.
Really? So talk a little bit about what you've been working on, like what's been going on.
So today we had, today's committee meeting was just all sort. We talked about pyramid schemes. We talked about transgender.
The boys and girls sports?
No. We're talking about the one where, it looks like there's doctors that are trying to do an end around on the ban on this kind of care. So we made that illegal.
You mean the quote unquote gender affirming care?
Gender affirming care.
That is not any of the sort.
Right.
Yeah.
And so Mello, Rep Mello, she wrote a bill to make sure that there could be some accountability. There are people who are using the wrong codes in order to still try to get the drugs to the kids. And so they're doing this end around. So this helps kind of close that loophole and gives the Attorney General an authority to actually sue them. And there could be a criminal penalty if I'm remember correctly.
Yeah, and I don't want that to pass by because this is so important. You know, there are things that you do legislatively to try to stop some of this from happening.
Right.
But you still have the left and Democrats that exist in the state of Florida.
Right.
I'll just say, that's me personally saying that. You may not want to say that, but I will say that. The left still exists. And as long as they still exist, they're not going to follow your laws or the rules or what people want to do. And they try to do these end arounds. And that's why, you know, in a lot of ways, I'll bet you in a lot of ways, probably what got off and running were a lot of these, the nibbling around the edges of fixing things. Yeah,
100%.
because we need to get this, because we started to see it happening. It's like, boom, I'm not wasting any time on this.
That's exactly right. And so you wonder, if people would just do the right thing, we wouldn't be here. Like, there wouldn't be a round two, and then people are trying to use this to, like, relitigate the entire law. That's not what this is. People are figuring out, they're trying to create their own loopholes, and they say, oh, there's this new diagnosis code, and actually it's insurance fraud, because you're making up a disease state for a child that's not suffering from the thing, and then next thing you know, it's your whole purpose is just to get the gender affirming care.
Yeah, which is just the removal of healthy body parts and the destroying of perfectly good body parts of children. Children. Hey, can I say that again? Just for those that follow the program on the left, and I get your emails, I know you do, please listen to us. We're talking about children. We're not talking about consenting adults or anything of the sort. We're talking about children. So that is a big deal to us. Another big deal, obviously, the president was talking about ICE enforcement. We're also here in the state concerned about law enforcement and strengthening what it is that they are capable of and making sure that others are not going to be doing some of what they're doing in places
100%.
Like Minnesota. So tell me more what's going on.
Last year, Rizzo, Representative Rizzo, actually passed his HALO bill. He'd been running it for many, many years. Cops had been asking for this, not so that you couldn't record them, not so that you couldn't track them, not so you couldn't follow, so you could give them a safe space to work in so that they don't have to worry about that interaction that happened that day, right? So in Florida, now Ashley Moody is trying to run that in the Senate to do a federal HALO bill. So if you enter within 25 feet of an active crime scene, you're now committing a crime. And this has been upheld in Florida. We're doing it in Florida. The world hasn't collapsed. The cops can do their job. You can observe them. I want you to observe them. But you can't interfere. Right? In what world do we live in where you think, I disagree with this cop, so I'm going to go lay my hands on his car. I'm going to go hit him. I'm going to go hit his car. We have entered a world of literal psychosis. This is not rebellion. This is not you like enforcing some difference of opinion. This is you actively hindering an active investigation in a crime investigation, and there's penalties for that. It doesn't make sense to me why you think anything different.
Right. And then one other thing with first responders and strengthening they do so much.
That's right.
And that's an important aspect.
Yeah, so we have I'm running a bill along with the CFO with Blaise Ngolia, and part of our bill actually has a $5,000 incentive to recruit more firefighters to the state of Florida.
Oh, wow.
Remember we did that for cops? We're going to do that for firefighters as well.
Nice.
We're trying to make sure we balance on the front end and we balance on the back end with retirement. So we're working on everything to make sure that a firefighter, first responder's life is fully taken care of, so that if they commit to us, then we can at least take care of them the way we promised.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've got to hit a break in just a minute.
You,
so how are you keeping warm then? You got is it you got some kind of special T-shirt underneath that does the whole?
No, I don't do T-shirts. I run around.
Well, you can tell I don't. That's the thing. There's a difference.
That's absolutely.
I'm not the exercise guy. I am the hey, just keep me warm and keep me fed kind of guy, which is probably not the best way to be. But I ask my wife. I'm trying.
You want another jacket? I'll bring you one.
I'm not that bad. I'm not even that bad with the sweater. I'm ready to take the sweater off now, to be quite honest, because it's not that cold. It's all right. When you're inside, everything is great. Great to see you,
brother.
Here
Great
in person.
To see you. Keep up the great work.
Thank you. Appreciate you. You do the same, man.
Be safe.
Always great to see you.
Thank you so much.
All right, that is Representative Danny Alvarez joining us on Florida's Voice. And always great to see him, but we don't usually see him in person, so we had an opportunity now, which is fantastic. All right. Once again, 866-588-8303 is the phone number. Anytime you want to hang out and join the program, just looking around at a lot of different people here in the rotunda. And we'll have a lot more guests coming up, scheduled to join us. Let's see. I got to check to see who's scheduled to join us, because we got so many. I don't even know who's coming our way. I probably should know. All right, I'm going to be working on that next break. Live from Tallahassee, it's Drew Steele. This is Florida's Voice.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to health care, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, if you're looking to take advantage of today's pro-business environment and strengthen your financial future, certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group have got you covered. They specialize in advanced tax strategies, risk management, and retirement planning, all aimed at helping high net worth investors like you thrive. Now, Alfie wants to share those insights with you with his book, Keeping You on the Retirement Fairway. It's packed with practical tips and forward-thinking strategies to help you make the most out of your hard-earned wealth. Ready to get your free copy? Text BOOK to 239-747-7470. That's 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Learn how to capitalize on that pro-business opportunities that are out there right now and secure the confident retirement you deserve. Once again, text BOOK to 239-747-7470 right now, and let Alfie Townsend and Advantage Retirement Group help guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at USO.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at USO.org today.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
A century of futility is forgotten. The Indiana Hoosiers are the kings of college football.
Yeah, that's right. Century of futility. Well, we got 5 championships. All right. Except for last night. Yeah, all right, whatever. Indiana beat Miami. Okay, 27-20. Whatever. So, yes, it was a perfect season for the Indiana Hoosiers. The Hurricanes played as well as anybody could have expected them to play. The block punt to me was a little much. By the way, Dee, did you watch the national championship game last night? Did you watch the CFP college football championship? I'm just wondering if you did or not, because yeah, I know you don't follow college stuff, but at the same time, it's Miami. Didn't you at least? Did you peek a little bit? You didn't not even a peek. Yeah, well, all right. So it was a frustrating end to an amazing season. And, yeah, all right, whatever, Indiana. Okay, congratulations. La, 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 la. All right. I don't want to do that. All right, let's not get carried away. It is what it is. All right, by the way, what it is we are here in Tallahassee, 4th floor, right in front of the Senate chambers, as we have more great guests coming at the beginning of, well, it's the first day of the second week of the legislative session that has been interesting. I got to tell you, it's like what Danny Alvarez was talking about, like I mentioned to Senate President-designate Jim Boyd about it feels like everybody's hitting the ground running with a lot of different things going on right now. So we'll have more of that coming up in just a bit, and some of the things that have been run. But first, I did want to mention that we're going to hear a little bit more from the President of the United States a little earlier today when he was with the White House press secretary talking to the press and talking about first year of the term and what this administration has been able to accomplish and some of the things that we're still trying to do without any help from, a moderate Democrat. There's no such thing as a moderate Democrat, from Democrats at all. But there are a lot of positive things that are happening, a lot of positive signs, good stuff that's going on. But at the same time, don't ever forget that we have people that still exist in Congress on a federal level, that they're not delusional, they are purposeful. Just like you're going to have Tim Walz and A.G. Ellison out of Minnesota, along with Jacob Frey, the mayor of Minneapolis, who are going to be subpoenaed by the FBI. The DOJ is investigating a lot of what has been going on in Minnesota, including what happened at the church over the weekend, right? So there's a lot of things that are going to be investigated and looked at, and hopefully there's going to be some perp walking. But also, you have people who are non-delusional. They're very purposeful, like Adam Schiff, who last month was on an interview with The New Yorker in a podcast and said, hey, with the Russia collusion hoax.
He talks a lot about Russia, hoax. Did you get anything wrong about that?
Yeah, did he get anything wrong about the Russia collusion hoax? Now, by the way, the answer to this question is everything. It was a setup. The Hillary Clinton, Perkins Coie, the DNC, along with the DOJ, FBI, and the fake PP tapes and Putin and all of that, right? We know, Hills, right, everything was wrong with it. It was a big lie. And here's Adam Schiff, who says...
No, I don't think we got anything wrong.
No.
I do think that at the end of the investigation, Mueller concluded, and I said...
I can't do it. No, can't do it. Yeah, so he was like, no, we didn't get anything wrong. We went through with it, and we mission accomplished for them. Wow.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
No way.
No way. No way.
No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele. Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Congratulations on your show.
Congratulations on your new show. Big deal, huh?
That's why shows like yours are so important.
We have an independent county elected sheriff that's the head of law enforcement in Jacksonville/Duval County. And I know how to work toward making this city safe.
We can't be shy about speaking on things such as faith and politics. We have to remember, in a free society, the public square belongs to all of us.
I'm not interested in North Florida looking like Orlando or Miami. I love where we live, but I think that good jobs means that people that live in this district can stay in this district.
Fishing and hunting is funding a large part of your conservation projects in Florida, and we want to make sure that those are forever preserved.
And the problem with this industry at this point is that they actually target our youth. You can see it in their marketing strategies, where it's bright colors, fun names.
And that's going to be endlessly litigated.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? Now might be the perfect time to go on offense and seize the opportunities presented by the new pro-business environment ushered in by President Trump and his administration. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you. They create strategies designed to help manage taxes, control risks, and boost your financial confidence. It's a forward-thinking approach that can strengthen your foundation so you can enjoy the lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve. If you're ready to see how Alfie's team can help elevate your plan, call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and discover proactive strategies to help you thrive in an ever-changing world. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Let Alfie Townsend and the Advantage Retirement Group team guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
I've been dipping snuff for well over 30 years. You know, I could wake up in the morning and have a weird lump in my gums. Guess it's like playing Russian roulette, really. I would love grandchildren. And if by quitting it extends my life some, I would gladly lay it down.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
Today, push harder, push forward, push vigorously.
There are things that I am hiding from people that I'm trying to inspire.
You can do whatever you set your mind to.
I feel like a hypocrite a lot of the times.
Don't give up on yourself ever.
Smoking, I hide it because I'm ashamed of it. I want to get out of the shadow. I want to show people there is light away from the darkness. I am going to quit.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and you know I love the Floor Meisters in Naples. Locally family-owned business, 3 generations of Meisters. Listen, what are you looking for? Carpet, tile, hardwood, Core-Tech? Maybe that's what you're looking for. And why don't we talk to TJ Meister right now of the Floor Meisters and find out what's going on with Core-Tech. What's up, TJ?
Well, we're just keeping up with the demand for Core-Tech. Just had to order a truck and bring it in from the west coast of the United States to keep up with all the needs and wants of the people of Southwest Florida. Somebody doesn't have it, give me a call. I probably do.
I tell you, I love my Core-Tech floor. People love it. What is it about it that makes it so awesome?
Well, it's waterproof, kid-proof, pet-proof. So if you got a pool, no problem. If you got a dog, no problem. If you got a husband that spills, no problem.
Floor Meisters, that's who I trust, and you should as well. 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples. 239-596-4964 for the Floor Meisters.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE 40. 855-SHARE-40.
Thank you for waking us all up out here, for all you do.
Thank you for giving us a voice.
For being out there helping keep the constitutional republic. I want to thank you for
your support for veterans in the military.
Educating us.
Standing up for conservatism.
Giving us the truth.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Well, hello, everybody. Glad you're joining us today on Florida's Voice. My name is Drew Steele, Big D, on the other side of the glass, back at the studio. Nina's in the breaking newsroom. Back at the studio, we are on the 4th floor here in Tallahassee in the Capitol. And it's a beautiful rotunda. It's a chilly. You'd be surprised how well marble and concrete hold cold. Sometimes you forget about. Did I say that out loud? I did. Okay. First of all, Senate President Ben Albritton is sitting next to me, and I don't know if he's laughing or if he's laughing with me, if he understands, if he knows how I feel. You don't know how I feel when it comes to the Southwest Florida kind of cold. I was joking this morning with D, and I was telling him how, you know, I do these. I don't do cold plunges. Are you a cold plunge person?
Not in a million years.
Not me either.
No
right?
way. I like to be warm.
Right. I'm not a cold plunge person. Right. But my wife said, look, 30 seconds after you take your hot shower, just 30 seconds of cold water. Well, cold in Southwest Florida. Coming out of the faucet water, and cold out of northern Florida coming out of the faucet. It's like, no, it's like painful, like it hurts. It's
whole different deal.
It is a whole different deal.
God created us, I think, to be warm. That's how fire started, right? So
yeah, exactly. So overall, how have you been? How's everything so far as we start this new year, this legislative session here?
Well, first of all, thanks for giving me some time on the show. It's great to see you again. Don't see enough of you. I know you're crushing it out there.
Thank you.
Lots of followers, lots of fans. I'm one of them. So doing a great job. Yeah. Second of all, I would say, this is a new year, right? What I've learned over the last 15 sessions, 8 years in the House, and this will be the 16th, 8 in the Senate, is that every session is different. Eventually it functions differently, it looks differently, you have different topics, different challenges, different opportunities. So I'm looking at this as just, quite honestly, a great opportunity to just capture the moment and, put our values to work and, use those biblical principles and lead by example, do all of those things. So it's a great opportunity going forward. And look, I have high hopes and high expectations for what it's going to produce for Floridians.
Yeah, I think that, one of the things that is so important is to continue what we have as far as this supermajority, which is great as long as you can keep it. It's nice when you have the kind of things that we get to brag about to other people. I mean, I know we've talked about this before, but there have to be people that's outside of the state that always talk to you or will mention something about, like, how do you do it? How is it possible you're able to do this? How is it possible that you all have this, what other people want, other states want? It's good legislating, and then on the other side of it, it's the results that people get the chance to see once it's put into action. And so far, it's been that and then some.
I would agree with that, right? But what I want to do is I want to frame this based on the way things happen here and the way things work and how you get things done.
Sure.
So what we've had for the last 7 years, and this will be Governor DeSantis' 8th session, we've had a guy that's really principled, very much conservative, looking out for Floridians. We've had Senate presidents prior to me, and I am convinced I'm doing that very thing myself, and speakers leading up to Speaker Perez, that we're looking out for Floridians. And look, I don't know that that's the magic sauce, because sometimes the road gets bumpy. Sometimes, even you can agree with somebody 99% of the time, and there be some disagreement on some issue, but we're still all Republicans, and we're still all wanting the same thing, is we want to do a good job, a great job for Floridians, for our economy, for our working families, for just build the list, right? Faith-based values, all of those things. And we've been blessed in Florida, in the word's out, right? Tons of people are moving here, and we are the envy of the country, and it's because of that combination of leaders that are sound, right? They're focused, they're principled, and they want to get to an end result that's good for Florida, good for Floridians, and quite frankly, good for the Florida brand.
Yeah. And so, every year is different as far as even in the state, even if the way the state is made up, every year is different. We have so many people that are moving here. We have so many things that in the past, like we've talked about, that were front and center. And then this last legislative session, for example, the Rural Renaissance, and looking at other places that maybe weren't as recognized or didn't get enough attention as they should. And so now, as we look at 2026 and we look at this year's priorities, so what are we looking at here?
So you bring up something that's really important. Number one, I want to be very clear to your listeners. We're going to stay the course. And what that means is we're going to be fiscally responsible. We're going to continue to be a low-tax state. We understand that affordability is a big challenge out there for Floridians and Florida homeowners. Florida business owners. I mean, just build the list, right? Affordability is a challenge. So we are going to continue to be laser focused on that, looking for opportunities to lower taxes, looking for opportunities to, like in the business community, right? You want predictable, reasonable, responsible regulation. So when they're going out wanting to grow, looking for opportunities to grow, they have a predictable environment. So when they're going out looking for capital to help them grow, that, it's enticing to the people that are lending them money. A whole host of things. We're going to continue to stay on those roads. We're going to continue to be, laser focused on faith, family, freedom, opportunity, and life. I mean, that really is the foundation of our party. And, we're not going to veer away from that. I know for a fact the governor is not, the speaker is not, and the Florida Senate won't.
Right. And I think now more than ever, if you don't mind me saying this, I think after what took place, speaking of faith, what took place over the weekend in Minnesota, in Minneapolis at the church, and these anti-ICE protesters crashing a church service. That to me now, it feels like that moment that's, what do you want to call it? A red line, a Rubicon? What would you like to call it? I'm saying to people who are watching and listening. For me personally, that was that moment where, if not for good legislators, if not for people who truly care about citizens, every citizen in this state, and want to affirm the things that we all know to be true constitutionally, if not now, then when? Like, this is, we have an opportunity here that we have to make sure that we don't miss as far as shoring all of this up, including our faith.
I will agree with you completely that what happened up there is a huge step over the red line.
Yeah.
Right? tragic, terrible. I would also want your listeners to know this. So for me, I'm a conservative.
Yeah.
I'm also a Christian. And the rule book that I follow is the Holy Bible.
Right.
Right? The Word of God. And I do everything in my power to lead by biblical principles. Now, there are some, regardless of party affiliation, I mean, sometimes, it doesn't completely line up, right? I'm going to follow the Constitution to the best of my ability. I don't see a conflict between the Constitution and the Bible, right?
Right.
Matter of fact, First Amendment gives me the right to be able to exercise that as the President of the Senate.
Yep.
So, I'm going to use biblical principles. I'm going to do everything in my power to stay on that straight and narrow path that I know that will work in the long haul, right? For Florida, for the Florida band, and quite frankly, for the kingdom. So what I would say to your listeners is this. If there are any expectations of Ben Albritton, it's going to be that I'm a sinner saved by grace, and I am not perfect, but I worship and serve the one that is. And I am going to do everything in my power to stay on that straight and narrow line and lead for Florida, use faith-based biblical principles, and produce results.
Yeah. And that's that. And if you don't mind me saying, it's what I love about you. It's like I believe with all my heart that that's who you are as a man, and I think that's what you bring to this building every time you're here. And I do think that if we're going to be honest, if we're looking at the future of the state and we're looking at the future of the country, if we're not grounded in that place, there is no hope. We have to be grounded in that place. And of course, there are going to be things that are going to happen to us from the outside trying to destroy what it is we're bringing. Of course, we know that. We inherently know that. We are inherently prepared for that battle. Because at the end of the day, we know we win.
That's right. Well, I appreciate your kind words, and I only strive to live up to it. But I will tell you that there is no question about it. Evil exists in the world. Just look around.
Yeah.
Right? Look at all the anti-Semitism that's going on. Look at all the hate that's going on. Those things are evil, right? What we should do as leaders is we should stand up to that as an example, right?
Yeah.
Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Doesn't mean that you aren't in disagreement with your fellow colleagues, even in the Florida Senate or with the governor or with the House or with the cabinet.
Right.
But you're looking for opportunities to build a bridge. You're looking for opportunities to build peace. So that's my philosophy, and it's what I believe to be right. So we're going to, and I believe the Florida Senate has bought into that mission, right?
Yeah.
1 Corinthians 13:13, faith, hope, and love. Greatest of these is love.
Yep.
Right? It leads to hope. What I have learned in my life, for me personally and my family, we thrive on hope. And I think every human being, every Floridian, everybody in this country, and everybody globally, right? They thrive on hope. They need hope. It is a lot of what we can't do without.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, sir, this was great. There's a few minutes, but we have to do this more often. I don't get to see you enough. I don't get to hear from you enough.
Man,
I know you're busy.
I'm in for that.
I know you're busy. I know he's busy, but, well, no, he is that busy. That's true. But I'm always so happy to have you on the program. It's great to see you again. God bless you.
Thanks, brother.
All right,
Love
we'll see you soon. All right, that is Senate President Ben Albritton joining us on Florida's Voice. Always appreciate a few minutes of his time when we can visit, and we'll see you very, very soon. All right, what's up? All right, let's see what else we got going on. Scheduled to join us in a minute. Coming up, I believe, is the CFO, Blaise Ngolia. He's scheduled to hang out. Is that right? Among others. So we have a lot of people that are going to be stopping by. And looking forward to that. A little bit of more about what has been happening here in the state of Florida. Yeah, let me play this audio because we talked about this a little earlier. Senator Don Gates was talking about a very important bill. You know, as we just mentioned, what took place in the church in Minneapolis. And this was something that Senator Don Gates laid out. This bill that he has that lets churches use armed volunteers for security without costly licenses, and now more than ever.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Houses of worship have always been not only sacred places, but safe places for praise, prayer, meditation, and gathering. But unfortunately, as we all know, that safety can no longer be taken for granted. It's now common for synagogues, churches, mosques to have armed security, often using professional licensed security personnel. Some congregations who can't afford hiring an outside security service are using volunteers. Senate Bill 52 exempts people who provide volunteer armed security for churches and other places of worship from having to have Class D or G licensing, which are required of professional security services.
Wow, that is a huge deal. So that is something that Senator Don Gates is laying out. And as he was describing, that safety can't be taken for granted anymore. As a matter of fact, there was a pastor today that was speaking out for this bill. It's a sad reality, as he was describing, but important.
Many churches across Florida feel the weight of unfortunate, hostile world that we now live in. The Family Research Council published a report in 2024 that documented a total of 415 hostile acts against churches in the United States. Florida was a leader in hostile incidents in 2024, with a total of 25 reported. The recent church shooting in Grand Blanc, Michigan, left 4 dead and 8 injured, highlighting the importance of church security. Churches in rural areas may not get a law enforcement response for up to 30 minutes. Volunteer church teams are already there. They're not trying to replace police, they're just trying to buy time and protect lives until that help arrives.
Exactly. And so that is a Florida pastor who was speaking in support of this bill and said, yeah, it's a sad reality, but worshipers deserve to feel safe in these churches, and they have to think about armed security now more than ever. Obviously, there are many that do here in this state, unlike other places. We don't want to be in this position, but we are. It is the sad reality we are in. And again, when you have certain people who have mentioned it before that they're not sorry it went down this way. Again, I'll just play this quickly. This is Adelita Grijalva, who is a Democrat from Arizona representative, when asked on CNN.
Do you believe it was a step too far for protesters to go into a church?
I don't.
No.
I don't.
No, she doesn't. She thinks it's fine. She said that churches have always been an open door and the protesters weren't violent in any way anyway. So what's the problem here? Yeah, that just so you understand that the difference between, as we are here in the place of legislating, Tallahassee and the Florida Capitol, now more than ever that we realize that this is what we have to look out for. This is what we have to do. And you know, good legislators do that. They're looking at a situation like this, not to add on, not to put more on the books for no reason, but to understand when it comes to the safety and security of parishioners at their place of worship, how much can we do to help them to keep people safe? When you have people in these halls that understand that and are willing to make sure that that's going to happen, it's a much different situation than it would be in a place like now Virginia or Minnesota, or in the case of Representative Adelita Grijalva, probably places like Phoenix. So, Arizona. These are the things that we have to be concerned about. All right, 866-588-8303 is the phone number. We got other things going on here? Yeah, we got other things going on here. All right, a little bit from the President of the United States as he was talking about a couple of different things a little earlier with the White House Press Secretary and the delivering of a lot of good things with the One Big Beautiful Bill.
One Big Beautiful Bill. I call it the Great Big Beautiful Bill, delivering the largest tax cuts in history. No tax on tips, no tax on Social Security.
Unless, of course, you live in certain states that are like, yeah, we're not going to do the no tax on tips. Well, wait a minute. I get paid a lot of money on tips. It's a shame that you live in this state. That's what a governor would tell you that isn't going to allow it to happen, let's just say in the state of New York, and therefore you, the little people, how?
No tax on overtime. We made interest on car loans tax deductible for U.S.-built automobiles only. So if you buy an automobile built in the United States, we're not doing it for Germany and Canada and different places. We're doing it only if it's built here. We want them to be built here. A lot of the Canadian auto plants are closing and they're moving into the United States. Same thing with Mexico, same thing with Germany, and same thing with Japan and other countries. They're moving into the United States because of tariffs, because they don't want to pay the tariffs. It's too much. They can't pay the tariffs.
Yeah, and they know that they're having a hard time paying the tariffs, and they're having a hard time with what the president has been laying out, and it's part of the reason why that not just here in this country, where people are very, very upset with the president of the United States. Why? Because he is overturning a lot of what has been here before, and even too many Republicans that were allowing a lot of things to happen in this country. With regard to whether it was immigration or whether it was health care, a lot of different things that the president is disrupting in a lot of ways, in a good way. But there are forces, people that don't want to see that happen, the same way that you're seeing a lot of the talk coming out of the EU and some of the meetings that are going on right now in different places where they're very, very upset with the president. By the way, there have been a few different people from Emmanuel Macron to Mark Carney in Canada and others at this meeting of the EU and there in Davos, where the language and the rhetoric against the president, even Eric Doherty was mentioning on his X account, our own Eric L. Daugh, D-A-U-G-H on X, that the Danish MEP, who is Anders Vistisen, telling President Trump that, let me put this into words you might understand, with regard to us and doing something about handing over Greenland. Let's just say he used the language that Jacob Frey would use as the Minneapolis mayor. It wasn't pretty. And so everybody's talking tough. Everybody is talking tough against the president. Everybody is trying to say that, as a matter of fact, it was Emmanuel Macron who was begging the EU to bring China in for more trade with China. Let's make up the difference, and what the president has done to us via tariffs, let's make up all the difference in trade with China, is the answer from the EU. Instead of, hey, we've been for far too long giving these trade deals and to the United States and getting away with it. And now that the president is shutting off the spigots and the good time, that instead of just owning the fact that we're not doing this anymore, we've got to look to somebody else like China. Like, you're going to look to China? Is that? Yes, that's exactly what the EU is talking about doing. And so, again, as many people have been looking at things that are going on in the United States, always remember the lead in every story that we continue to talk about when it comes to ICE, or when it comes to Trump, or when it comes to a lot of the chaos and disruption that is going on, that is created by the left. It's all about the fact that certain institutions, certain people, certain waste and fraud is being called out and discovered, and they know full well that it's game over. As long as Republicans do something about it, as long as there's DOJ convictions and perp walks, and as long as Republicans get off their duff and start doing a lot of the executive orders of the president into law, and as long as we do things like the SAVE Act and other things that we can get across the finish line, these are all going to be very, very important for the future of this country. All right, we are live in Tallahassee right now on the 4th floor. We are right in front of the Senate chambers, hanging out with you live. It's Florida's Voice. We got more great guests going to be stopping by, scheduled to join us. Senator Tom Leek is going to be coming along with Senator Stan McClain, among others, that will be hanging out with us in a few minutes to find out more about this legislative session. And we'll have some more audio, too, that's out there, because there is a lot that has been happening here already, and we've got some of the audio from inside the chamber right to my left that we will get to in just a little bit. All right, anytime you want to watch it, FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook. Anytime you want to check out the program after hours, Florida's Voice with Drew Steele, the podcast. Let's take a break. Live from Tallahassee, it's Drew Steele, it's Florida's Voice.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
I'm Chris Jakovic. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA, is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families, and one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and I have to tell you, when my wife and I talked about getting new kitchen countertops for our house, we know who to call. Rock Solid Countertops and More, 2240 J&C Boulevard in Naples. And they have been absolutely amazing. Hugo and the team are the best. The workmanship has been absolutely incredible. The install was so easy. The process was perfect. Taking everything out, bringing the new stuff in. The quartz countertop is unbelievably beautiful, and my wife is super happy, I'll tell you. You know they have the best quality and selection of marble, quartz, granite, and a one-stop shop for all of your kitchen, outdoor, and bathroom needs. I've known it for years. I've lived in Southwest Florida 40 years. There was really only one place I was going to go. It's Rock Solid Countertops and More. I would suggest you give them a call, 596-7676. They're at 2240 J&C Boulevard in Naples. Find out what they can do for you. Countertops, cabinets, plantation shutters, they do it all. Rock Solid Countertops and More.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into. And that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge. But it's also true, people are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE 40. 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Since the dawn of time, man and wildlife have shared a connection, and hunting traditions passed down from generation to generation have connected man to the natural world, from bow and arrow to hook and bullet. As man evolved, our link to those traditions remain with them forever. Yet today, our basic instinct to provide and as part of the hunt to conserve and appreciate the natural world has fallen under attack for the first time in human history. The misguided politicians and radical activists pushing an agenda to end hunting as we know it, or leading a war against our heritage and their misguided policies and protests. They demonize hunters and belittle our way of life, the results of hunters leaving the sport in droves, while our wildlife and ecosystems suffer the consequences as conservation funding dries up. Named after the father of the North American model for wildlife conservation, the International Order of T. Roosevelt is fighting in the arena to protect and expand the rights of hunters everywhere. We will fight back against these forces to make sure that every American has a right to hunt, enshrined in their state constitutions. We will educate the next generation in our traditions and seek to expand accessibility so that everyone can enjoy our pastimes. And we will continue to hold true to our namesake's efforts to protect, preserve, and ensure open access to our nation's wild lands. Teddy Roosevelt's vision for American conservation defines our modern hunting and conservation system, a system upheld by the idea that conservation efforts are crucial to our hunting way of life, and that hunters are crucial to successful conservation.
To some, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much, but that's not true. They're testing out vowels and consonants and trying different sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on meaning, especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? It's time to shift gears and seize the fresh opportunities this new pro-business environment has to offer. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and the team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you, helping you go on the offense with advanced tax strategies, thoughtful risk management, and forward-thinking financial planning. Imagine enjoying the retirement lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve, all while staying one step ahead, and in a changing world, you've got to do it. Alfie and his team design personalized strategies to strengthen your financial foundation so you can focus on living life on your terms. Ready to find out more? Text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, you can call or text 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and see how a proactive approach can help you thrive no matter what the market does next. Don't wait. Call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470 right now.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
All right, anytime you want to watch it, FL Voice News, YouTube, Rumble, X, Facebook, and Instagram. Anytime you want to check out the program after hours, Florida's Voice with Drew Steele, the podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. All right, coming up in just a few more minutes, Senator Stan McClain is going to join us. But first, we do top of the news.
Florida's headlines now.
Michelle Vesarina's in the Florida's Voice newsroom. She's got the latest for us right now. Let's see what's up. What's up?
Hey, Drew.
Hey.
Topping the news right now. A triple murder in Central Florida sparks reaction from Florida's Attorney General. Florida Attorney General James Uthmeier is criticizing the state's insanity defense after a man previously acquitted on insanity grounds was charged with killing 3 U.S. tourists in Osceola County. Ahmad Jihad Bojeh, 29, faces 3 counts of first-degree murder in the deaths of 3 men who were vacationing from Ohio and Michigan. The victims' families called the attack random and senseless and are asking for privacy as they grieve. But Uthmeier says this incident shows why he wants lawmakers to narrow the insanity defense, arguing violent criminals should not be set free to harm others. Authorities arrested Bojeh near the scene and recovered 2 firearms. The investigation is ongoing and officials are still looking for a motive. After a church incident in Minnesota raised national safety concerns, Florida Senator Don Gates' bill on armed volunteer security at worship sites cleared a Senate panel today. The measure would let volunteers carry firearms without a professional license as long as they have a concealed carry permit, pass background checks, and follow a plan approved by the local sheriff. Gates says it's a sad necessity, but he hopes it helps congregations protect themselves against potential threats. Good news for Florida's healthcare industry. Governor Ron DeSantis said he's adding an extra $20 million to nursing programs. The funding will help state colleges, universities, and private schools train more nurses with grants for scholarships, faculty, and simulation equipment. DeSantis says these programs now produce over 1,000 additional nurses each year, a key step to keep up with Florida's growing population. DeSantis says that since 2022, Florida has invested nearly $500 million into nursing programs. And that's it for now, but be sure to head over to flvoicenews.com for more stories like these. We cover the stories that conservatives in Florida care about. I'm senior reporter Michelle Vesarina for Florida's Voice. Drew, back to you.
All right, Michelle Vesarina in the Florida's Voice newsroom. We appreciate a few minutes of her time. And anytime you want to check out the stories they're working on, flvoicenews.com, that is the website. All right, as we transition. Does he have to go already? Is he okay? Okay, good. All right. The Senator Stan McClain is joining us right now on Florida's Voice as we've been sitting here chatting about all different kinds of things. First of all, it's really good to see you. It's funny how everything comes and goes in waves. You know, it's like I'm watching waves of people come in, and then all of a sudden it's like quiet like it is right now. And then in a few more minutes it'll get crazy. How you been?
Good. I've been doing real good. Pretty good start to session already.
Yeah.
It's been exciting. We've had just so much. It seems like we've had so much going on. Like just in the last few days, I've like today and by tomorrow, I'll have presented 6 different bills. Wow. I was talking to a friend of mine and one of the other senators. He said he's doing 6 today, and so
wow.
Yeah. And then I noticed in some of the committees I was in, people were doing multiple bills in committees, and so,
right.
So there's a lot going on.
So
and
when it comes,
things are getting moving forward.
I was going to say, so for people that are listening that maybe don't know about this, I mean, is that like when people are listening, they're thinking, well, is that typical? I mean, is that usually what happens? Is it a good thing when things move so quickly, like they have, like this early when bills are getting moved, and that's kind of, it feels like it's a good thing.
Yeah. No, I think it is. And I'm the chairman of a committee, and so we have, I've got. In fact, I sat down earlier, looked at, my stack of bills that we've got in the committee, and one of the things you try to do is you look at bills, you say, okay, well, what's the next stop after my committee, and then. So you look at a bill and say, well, it's got to go to another appropriation. I mean, if it goes to another policy committee, then you say, man, we got to get that thing moving. Otherwise, it could get bogged down, later in the session. And so, for members who are running bills, it's always a good thing to get them running. And then, but it's been a whirlwind of activity, I think, today. And there, there's a lot of groups up here. People are coming up for different days. You've probably seen some of that.
Right.
And so that, that's part of it too. But it does seem to be, again, a lot of chairs are trying to get things moving, and so people can have time to hear their, get their bills heard. Number one, most of the time at a first stop. It's one of the things I try to tell people all the time. The bill you see today probably won't be the bill you see at the end of session, because you're going to go through some committees. You're going to get a lot of input from fellow senators, things maybe you didn't think about when you were drafting the bill, and those types of things. And so it's one of the things I learned early on too is, I'd see a bill. Years ago, I'd see a bill and I'd start, oh my gosh, look at this bill, and freaking out about it. And people that were in the process, they'd be like, settle down, it'll be fine.
Settle down. That would be what they would say to me, for sure. Settle down.
Take a breath. Take a breath. Again, same thing. It probably won't look like that, or give input or whatever it is. And so anyway, that's it's one of the things too is giving you time to take comments from your fellow senators that are on a committee, and then try to work those into your bill, and then just make things work out that way.
Yeah, definitely have to bring that up a little bit. Because, one of the things that often when we're together and we talk about all the great things that are going on in the state, obviously there's so many good things that are happening, and with the good comes things like growth, growth. What are we doing lately? How are we managing? How are we making sure that we're managing what is going to be a continuation of, no matter what, we're going to have this incredible growth here in this state. How are we doing with that? And we're going to be talking about that a little bit this session.
Of course, yeah. I mean, it's one of the things I work on a lot. In fact, I presented a couple bills today. I presented one last week, and that's the reality of it. Florida's not going to stop growing, and there were some things that exacerbated this last growth spurt that we went through. One of them was COVID.
Right.
So we had a multitude of people who just, were fed up with where they were living, probably didn't have a lot of roots to tie down, so they just said, hey, you know what, we're going to Florida, and there's jobs there, things are available, and so, sometimes you're a victim of your own success, I guess, if you will.
Right.
But Florida's not going to stop growing. I mean, and I got a good friend of mine, I think, what does he say, as long as there's sunshine, air conditioning, and bug screen, Florida's going to keep sunscreen. Florida's going to keep growing, and so yes, we need to prepare for it. It's we can either bury our head in the sand and say, there's too much going on, so we're not going to do anything, or we can take some proactive steps, and that's one of the things that I'm always working on, is trying to take proactive steps about how can Florida grow in a responsible way, make sure that we maintain our conservation efforts. We've made so many conservation efforts over the last several years, certainly under Governor DeSantis, and certainly all the legislative leaders that we've had over the past. Senator Albritton, obviously, has been a great champion of that, President Albritton, and so those things you don't want to do is go backwards. You want to continue to try to move forward on that kind of stuff, and so it's one of the things that for me, and I tell people all the time, I feel like I have to defend myself and tell people I'm a 6th generation Floridian.
Yeah.
So my mom's family got to Florida in 1820.
Wow.
So everybody's moved here since then, moved in on top of me.
Wow.
So,
Right. So if there's somebody who cares about what's been happening here in the state of Florida, I mean, it's
I do, and part of it is too past experience being in local government. I kind of understand the the development process, understand the approval process for the land use and some of that kind of stuff. So so we're going to keep working on that, make sure that we have our our water supply and conservation's taken care of and all those types of things.
Right.
But,
and obviously, one of the things that I've always been concerned about is this balance, as delicate as it may be, between the growth that clearly is moving. If you're on the west coast of Florida, let's just say, a lot of it moves out east and vice versa. We feel like this pinch coming into the center of the state, but at the same time, the people that are being pinched or coming into this area need jobs. They need work. They need all of it, not just the housing, but employment. And so there is this delicate balance of trying to find those jobs, good paying long term in these areas, but not make it something that's going to be detrimental to all the work that we've done in the center.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I think one of the things I've focused on a little bit more, I've been thinking about a little bit more, is Amy Baker, who's our economist here in the state. She came and did a presentation to the Appropriations Committee, and one of the things she said was, when you look at 25% of the people that are coming to Florida are coming here to retire, and so that's great. I'm glad they worked their life and now they're coming to Florida and all those kinds of things. What that does, and then 25% of the people are between 0 and 17. So 50% of the people aren't necessarily employed, right? So we have another 50%. All of them aren't employed. So you keep taking that number down. So you probably only end up with about 40% of the people who have to serve the other 60%, right? Or supply the needs of their needs, whatever it might be, healthcare, school, education, whatever it might be. So, and that's, I think, where a lot of, and I know in Marion County, where I'm from our Economic Development Council did a study a while back, and the greatest amount of growth that we had in this last growth spurt that we've had was between 25 and 45. So it was a lot of people moving who were going to fulfill jobs for people that were coming here to retire or 0 to 17.
Right.
And then the other piece that we have to remember, and because transportation, roads are everybody's fussing about roads, like, oh man, the roads are getting. We have 140 million people that are coming to visit Florida. That's 7 times the population.
Wow.
12 million a month, right?
Wow.
Just about. So we have another 12 million people a month coming to Florida on top of on top of people that live here.
Right.
And so that's another issue. And I think people don't think about it. Again, that same 40%, they're having to do the population and 140 million people.
Wow.
So it creates a great prospects for job opportunities, and that's why under COVID, when Florida was open for business, people came, a lot of people came during that period of time. And it's slow, certainly growth has slowed down. I see building has already, kind of slowed down some. But so I think those are 2 factors that people need to keep in mind is a lot of people that came here in this past growth spurt were people that were looking for employment opportunities. And
right.
Those are the things that, I think from our perspective, there's a couple things people want. They want to have a place to live, a home to live in, or whatever,
right.
And they want to have economic opportunity.
Right.
And so that's that I think that's what we're trying. And then we have to balance. How do we keep Florida this place to be?
Yep.
Right? So
there's a lot of balance there. We've got like a minute.
Okay.
You want to touch? Yeah. You want to touch on the property tax issue?
Yeah. So there's a lot of proposals out there. The House has made several proposals. The governor hasn't made a proposal yet, so we're kind of waiting on that. And then we, the Senate, we're actually working on a proposal as well. Those should be out sometime in the next, I'm thinking a couple weeks, maybe 3 weeks, something like that. We'll have a conversation, and that'll really get the conversation started. And, I think the biggest thing for people to know is I can't really do anything about your property taxes. The legislature doesn't do that. We'll have to put something on the ballot. They'll have to vote on it. My commitment is I'm looking for what's going to be the best thing we can do for the most people.
There you go.
Give some relief.
Yeah, that's going to be important.
Yeah.
All right, Senator, it's always great to see you.
You too. Thanks, Drew. Appreciate you, man.
Great to see you.
Yes, sir.
All right, that is Senator Stan McClain joining us on Florida's Voice. Always appreciate a visit and lots of other folks coming up as well. Yeah, it's important, the balance that has to be done here, and especially with property taxes. It is by far the biggest thing that everybody has been talking about for the past 6 months and leading into this session. And what is that going to look like? It's not like he said the legislators aren't going to do any kind of property tax. It's all about what they're going to present to make it to an amendment that's going to be out there that's going to make it the one that is going to be responsible and figure out which way we're going. But yeah, there's a lot of work to do still. A lot of proposals out there. So we'll talk about that coming up here in Tallahassee for the beginning. The first day of the second week of the legislative session is what we're doing right now. Anytime you want to watch, here we are at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook. You can see the building. Well, you can't see behind me. Maybe I should take the other camera, like move it around so that people can see. I don't know. All right, more to come. It's Drew Steele, Florida's Voice.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
A lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to health care, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, if you're looking to take advantage of today's pro-business environment and strengthen your financial future, certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group have got you covered. They specialize in advanced tax strategies, risk management, and retirement planning, all aimed at helping high net worth investors like you thrive. Now, Alfie wants to share those insights with you with his book, Keeping You on the Retirement Fairway. It's packed with practical tips and forward-thinking strategies to help you make the most out of your hard-earned wealth. Ready to get your free copy? Text BOOK to 239-747-7470. That's 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Learn how to capitalize on that pro-business opportunities that are out there right now and secure the confident retirement you deserve. Once again, text BOOK to 239-747-7470 right now, and let Alfie Townsend and Advantage Retirement Group help guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move. When being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
So I'm sitting here in Tallahassee, where I am right now at the Florida Capitol, 4th floor by the Senate chambers. And I said it would be really funny if former state representative and Lee County property appraiser Matt Caldwell just happened to walk up. It would be really unusual, crazy. And oh, look at you.
Completely unexpected. Left field.
Out of left field, and there you are. No, seriously, I had no idea you were. I mean, I knew you would be here, but I didn't know you were going to be here, and then able to sit down for a few minutes. So you're busy, huh? How's it going?
Well, there's plenty to work on. Property tax is the name of the game this session.
Yeah, it is. So as you've been talking to people, how has it been going? Are we going to be able to coalesce around one good idea, or is it it's going to be crazy for a little while longer?
Yeah, I mean, we're still going to have
You'll shoot straight with me.
Yeah, we're going to have to navigate this. I mean, you've already seen the governor say he wants to probably do a special on it.
Yeah.
Tells me he's trying to land an agreement with, probably the Senate.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's surprised. Probably not working with the House at this point. If they can land one, I wouldn't be surprised to see some kind of structure of a deal. I just don't know that they can get there. It ultimately comes down to the math. How do you afford the tax cut? Not that we don't need to, not that we should do it, but how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time, not all at once? And that's really a lot of the conversation.
Yeah, because like what Senator Sam McClain was talking about, as he was talking about how many people come down here retired and they're not working, okay, and then you have a lot of young people as well that are coming here, a lot of them looking for jobs. So, and then through all of this, we have to try to figure out how we're going to have this balance, and I know that somebody, I feel like, is going to feel like they're left out. Like somebody's going to get left out of the equation.
Yeah, I mean, the more broad-based you make it, I love the idea to get rid of the statewide school tax. That's a tax break for everybody.
Yeah.
Homeowners and business owners all across the board. It makes the system fairer, makes it better. That's a 30 to 50% cut, depending on the property you own. And it's the easiest to implement. Doesn't require a constitutional amendment. Again, I don't know if that's the one they're going to get to, but they've certainly heard from me on that.
I was just going to say, is that even out there? Is that a thing?
Well, it's not one of the proposals, but I've talked about that with the House, Senate, and the governor's office.
So, yeah, it's interesting because that satisfies a lot of different areas, like how we're going to be able to pay for all of the police and the fire. And, it's not being...
Doesn't touch that.
Doesn't touch it, right? Yep. So, interesting. All right, so that's a good thing. So we have to come back to you in a few more weeks and see how close we're getting to something like that, right?
We're anywhere over the target at all.
What about state parks? You were just talking before we got on the air. We were talking about what's going on with state parks.
Fantastic. So in October, I took over as president of the State Parks Foundation.
Oh,
we're the citizen support organization for the whole park system. Yeah. 175, I have 106 as of Friday.
Okay.
Across the state, huge economic driver, really awesome. Part of our state's economy and the gateway. I always point out it is the gateway to wild Florida. For most people that visit or live here, they're not going to go way out into the deep Everglades, right? They're not going to get out 10 miles from the road, but they're going to go to a state park, and that's how they're going to see and experience wild Florida.
Okay. Trying to think of, I was going to make a joke. I'm going to make the joke anyway because I think it's funny.
Go for it.
So how many golf courses are we building?
None at the moment.
Okay, we're not no golf courses.
We have lots of golf courses.
No, I was just thinking of state parks, and I was thinking off the top of my head, like if there was something I that's missing or something I would really like to see in a state park that would drive me there more often, like is there something? And the answer is no. It's just about availability and convenience, and that's
Yeah, I mean,
really it.
people, a lot of people are familiar with their local parks, but go on the park's website and see, right? We've got Florida Caverns in North Florida.
I know, the caverns, the springs.
The springs everywhere, Lover's Key and Honeymoon Island, two of the biggest parks, historic places. Fort Mose outside St. Augustine, definitely visit that.
Yep.
We just finished working on that project together.
All right, we got to go. Matt Caldwell, look
Love
at
it.
you. All right, we'll see you soon. We'll be back. In Tallahassee, it's Florida's Voice.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
No way.
No way. No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele. Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Congratulations on your show. Congratulations on your new show. Big deal, huh?
That's why shows like yours are so important. We have an independent county elected sheriff that's the head of law enforcement in Jacksonville/Duval County. And I know how to work toward making this city safe.
We can't be shy about speaking on things such as faith and politics. We have to remember, in a free society, the public square belongs to all of us.
I'm not interested in North Florida looking like Orlando or Miami. I love where we live, but I think that good jobs means that people that live in this district can stay in this district.
Fishing and hunting is funding a large part of your conservation projects in Florida, and we want to make sure that those are forever preserved.
And the problem with this industry at this point is that they actually target our youth. You can see it in their marketing strategies, where it's bright colors, fun names.
And that's going to be endlessly litigated.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? Now might be the perfect time to go on offense and seize the opportunities presented by the new pro-business environment ushered in by President Trump and his administration. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you. They create strategies designed to help manage taxes, control risks, and boost your financial confidence. It's a forward-thinking approach that can strengthen your foundation so you can enjoy the lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve. If you're ready to see how Alfie's team can help elevate your plan, call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and discover proactive strategies to help you thrive in an ever-changing world. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Let Alfie Townsend and the Advantage Retirement Group team guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
I've been dipping snuff for well over 30 years. You know, I could wake up in the morning and have a weird lump in my gums. Guess it's like playing Russian roulette, really. I would love grandchildren. And if by quitting it extends my life some, I would gladly lay it down.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
Today, push harder, push forward, push vigorously.
There are things that I am hiding from people that I'm trying to inspire.
You can do whatever you set your mind to.
I feel like a hypocrite a lot of the times.
Don't give up on yourself ever.
Smoking, I hide it because I'm ashamed of it. I want to get out of the shadow. I want to show people there is light away from the darkness. I am going to quit.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and you know I love the Floor Meisters in Naples. Locally family-owned business, 3 generations of Meisters. Listen, what are you looking for? Carpet, tile, hardwood, Core-Tech? Maybe that's what you're looking for. And why don't we talk to TJ Meister right now of the Floor Meisters and find out what's going on with Core-Tech. What's up, TJ?
Well, we're just keeping up with the demand for Core-Tech. Just had to order a truck and bring it in from the west coast of the United States to keep up with all the needs and wants of the people of Southwest Florida. Somebody doesn't have it, give me a call. I probably do.
I tell you, I love my Core-Tech floor. People love it. What is it about it that makes it so awesome?
Well, it's waterproof, kid-proof, pet-proof. So if you got a pool, no problem. If you got a dog, no problem. If you got a husband that spills, no problem.
Floor Meisters, that's who I trust, and you should as well. 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples. 239-596-4964 for the Floor Meisters.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE 40. 855-SHARE-40.
Thank you for waking us all up out here, for all you do. And
thank you for giving us the voice.
For being out there helping to keep the constitutional republic. I want to thank you for your support for veterans in the military. Educating us. Standing up for conservatism. Giving us the truth.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Hey, everybody. Glad you're joining us today on Florida's Voice. It's Drew Steele, Big D, back at the studio on the other side of the glass. Nina's in the breaking newsroom where she's at the studio as well. We are in Tallahassee today, 4th floor here in the Capitol right now, broadcasting live, and it's amazing how the ebbs and flows of a usual day here. It's like this place is packed. There's 1 million people in the hall here in the area, and the next thing you know, it's like quiet, and we're at quiet time. With State Representative Judson Sapp, who's joining us right now on Florida's Voice. It's a nice, quiet time for us. How are you, sir?
It is a quiet time. It's great. Everybody went outside, I think, to hear the FSU marching band for FSU Days.
Oh, so is that what it is?
Yeah,
okay.
That's why they all left.
Okay, they all left us. They all left us for the marching band. It's a story of my life, but that's all right. So how have you been? How's it going here? The first day or the second week of session?
Yeah, well, it's going second week. It's going pretty good, actually. I'm very excited. I mean, it's always when you start, it's getting back and it's like you're back in school. You got to get back to it. Things are starting to move. I just found out I got a bill on agenda next week, and that's how you anticipate it.
Nice.
So if there's a process, it works out. So.
Yeah, I was surprised when I got here, and obviously we're in the third hour now, and so far as I've been talking to people, everybody is like, I got 6 bills are moving, and I got 4 bills here, and we got these things. It's like, what? Like that, I don't usually hear that at the very beginning, how things are starting to roll the way they're rolling Are you finding the same thing? Like there's a lot of action going on.
It seems like we're moving pretty quick, and I like that. I mean, that's the thing with when you have a short session like we do, because we're part-time, as your viewers may or may not remember. We're part-time. We are paid like we're part-time, and we have other jobs and other families, but we love this job, and we do it. And when we get up here, we work fast and hard.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, like, describe some of what you've been working on, what you've been talking to people about so far at the beginning here. What has been the focus for you and for others as they've been talking to you?
Yeah, I mean, we spent everything building up to this for property tax, and obviously, there's a lot going on with that. I myself am looking forward to seeing how that plays out. I'm a big fan of it, of getting rid of it, but there's just a lot going on with that. So we have that. Personally, I'm working on. I'm doing one of the governor mentioned this. I'm doing one of the 2 DEI bills to remove it. I'm going to remove it from DMS, so that if my bill moves and passes, it'll remove it. The Attorney General just released an opinion on that, saying that basically he believes it's unconstitutional. So that'd be nice if we could get that out of statute.
Right. So dig into that a little bit more, because a couple of things come to mind when we're talking about DEI. Number one is that boy, there are a lot of people that when we go there do not want to follow whatever the laws are on the books. They're going to try to figure out a way around it. They want to do something else. It feels like in a lot of ways some of the things that have taken place so far have been closing up some of those loopholes on some things that have been out.
Absolutely. And when it relates to what I'm doing with DMS, the problem is you have government contracts that a lot of companies just won't bid on, because they know they're not going to get the contract. So therefore, it's a real burden on the Florida taxpayer, because it's really not a competitive bid. Sometimes there's only one person bidding on it.
Yeah.
And that's why. I mean, the reality is that the person that's most qualified for the contract should get the job. I mean, to me, that's the ultimate form of freedom, is let the person that has the best bid with the best job get the job, and it is who it is.
Right. Yeah. And and what's crazy is that, again, we're in this place where we have to do certain things that you would imagine would be so logical, so common sense, what is so beneficial to the people here in the state to begin with. And again, there are people that, sometimes you have to, you don't want to say legislate against, but man, it's just the things that you have to tighten up to make people understand that this is how we're doing business here in the state. It's what made us successful.
Exactly. It's what made us successful. And then a lot of times too, I think what was interesting to me is a lot of people who've been around older than me up here thought we'd already done this. And that's often what you find out, is you do it, and then it's still in a law somewhere else, and you have to do a bill to correct that. Like, I'm also running a bill for first responders about pre-existing conditions, and basically a lot of police come in, they didn't get tested when they were 20 years old to see if they have a pre-existing condition, and now they're going, well, we're not going to cover you because you didn't get that test done. A lot of departments already test for it, so it doesn't affect every law enforcement officer, but it affects enough of them that, we got to fix it, and I'm trying to get that bill moving too.
Right, just the fact that, it's out there and it exists and it's an issue, and so to close that up and tighten that up is a good thing. You mentioned, and I guess off the air, we mentioned a little bit about property tax, and I kind of want to, I'm trying to figure out what this is going to look like after this is all said and done. I do not think we need to necessarily have any kind of extension of the legislative session. I don't know that we need to go that far, as long as we can figure out what it is we have to coalesce around. I guess that's, I just can't believe how many different ideas there are on this, and I worry that sometimes there are so many ideas and nobody wants to bail on because theirs is the best.
Right. Well, I think it's really easy. I was talking to some constituents about this, and as far as what's coming out of the House, my advice is, if that's what makes it to the ballot, yes on all. Because yes on all solves all problems.
Yeah.
So as far as yes on all property tax, there's probably some amendments where I would not agree with that too. But as far as property tax goes, the ones that were coming out of the House, a yes on all will pretty much solve all problems for what people want. And that's the thing. I hope that people don't get confused and go, well, I'm not going to pick this one because I don't want one group. No, if you do yes on all, everybody's getting something good,
right,
for a reduction. And the reality is, I know we're not going to touch right now. We're talking about not touching schools and sheriff's budgets, and we can come back to that. I mean, that's the thing is, we don't have to get it all right now. I call it death by 1,000 cuts, and that's a good way to do legislation too. I think we have to remember that republics and what our founding fathers intended for this country were sometimes to go slower than we want to go. I would go full bore if I could do it, but I also recognize we got to be responsible, and I think we might get something meaningful on the ballot, and then we got to get people to vote for it.
Right, and hopefully without any kind of extended period of time. I mean, like, could we do that? Do you have enough faith in the process that we could get things locked down without having to go to any kind of extended period of time as we've...
I certainly hope so. I hope so. Okay. You know, the funny thing is, though, me being a freshman, I don't know any different.
Yeah.
I mean...
You've been trained in the long periods of time.
It's session after session after session is what mine and my fellow people elected in my year know. So we're prepared to do whatever it takes to make Florida better for Floridians.
Yeah, I would agree with that. All right. It was great to see you, sir. I love when you come on the program. You always have the energy. You bring the energy. You bring the juice, and it's always good when we get a chance to see you in person.
Yeah, it's great to see you in person, too.
All right.
All right. Good to see you up here. Take care.
God bless. All right. That is Representative Judson Sapp joining us here on Florida's Voice. Are we going to be bringing in? Okay. Yeah, we'll do that right now. We're going to switch out the seats as Senator Tom Leek is coming in here to join us for a few minutes. And all kinds of good things that are going on here. And we are, by the way, in case you're wondering, live in Tallahassee. We are here in the Rotunda right now on the 4th floor. And first of all, it's good to see you, sir. How's everything going today?
Everything's great.
All right, if you want to just bring that mic up for us a little bit. Yeah, it's been quite the start. You know, as I've been mentioning to the representative and to other senators, I'm pleasantly surprised that the first day of the second week, things are going like they're moving. There's it's not necessarily a sense of urgency, but there's an actionable movement on a lot of different issues that's happening. And I guess it's just, I don't know, is it usually like this? Does it seem unusual to you?
Well, I think every year is unusual. So there's none that are exactly
There's
alike.
that, yeah, that's true.
If you think about what happened during committee weeks where we were kind of backed up a little bit and we didn't move a whole lot of stuff through committee weeks. And this early session is difficult and creates some holiday issues and things like that. Things have to move now or they're not going to make it all the way through the process. So remember, the subcommittees will stop meeting, around week 5 or 6, and then only the majors will meet after that. And if you have 2 subcommittees and a major, you don't get heard now, chances are your bill's dead.
Right. Yeah, and I know there's so much that people have been talking to me about. Obviously, everybody, property tax is one of the big things.
I've got an idea.
Yeah, you have an idea. Do you have an idea? Tell me an idea. Tell me your thoughts on that.
We've got to do something with property tax, and we've got to just readdress how it's done. But really, what we're after, if you think about it, we're really after spending. And so if you did this, and there are some other states that have done it, but it's called the Taxpayer Bill of Rights. But if you did this, if you went in and you said, okay, we're going to draw a line in the sand. For me, I would say 2020 is that line, because after 2020 is when we started to see the exponential increase in home values, which led to all of this revenue coming into local governments. If you said you look at 2020, and we're going to limit a local government's ability to spend more than a function of the prior budget, plus some factor of population growth times inflation.
Okay.
Right? And if you cap the budget, what they can spend, it allows them to grow. Listen, if your population's growing, it's necessarily going to cost you more money. So you allow some degree of growth, but beyond that, you don't allow it. Then you can focus less on the revenue source. And what you do, and the way this works in some other states, is if they collect more than that arbitrary line, then they have to return it to the taxpayer. Right? Think how great that would be.
Right.
And it works that way. And if you've seen it in Colorado does it, you've seen that the taxpayers get checks back from the government for collecting too much revenue.
Yeah.
And yet they're still able to function. The budgets are still able to grow. But it occurs to me in the entire debate that we're having about property taxes is really what we're trying to get after is spending.
Right. No, that makes sense. A couple of things come to mind when you mention this. The first thing is how long these other states have done this, and to be able to get the data, the numbers, see how it has worked out for them. Are we able to do that? Has it been a long enough time that we can get a good amount of data?
Yeah, we have, and don't hold me to this number, but I believe Colorado is at least a decade, if not 15 years to two decades.
Okay. And then I think the other thing too would be the fact that when it comes to this issue, I'm always looking and I'm always fascinated by how, as I was just talking about a second ago, there are a lot of people that have their ideas, and I worry that they don't want to be the one to find out that it's not the one that's going to make it to the dance, so to speak.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
We all like to be right.
But that's all right, because this is the kind of thing where, and I've said this a million times, and I'm sure people have said it to you, I worry that we don't get it right. It has to be right. I'm sure there are states that have tackled this and didn't get it right, and there are some consequences that come down, and ultimately you spend all the next legislative sessions trying to, tie things up or fix things, and you never know. I mean, it's obviously a different state. We're fortunate and blessed that we're in a position we're in right now with a supermajority, and hopefully everybody on the same page, and legislatively we do things very well here. But at the same time, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you've got to get it right, particularly when it comes to property tax.
Yeah.
Because property tax is going to be something that we put on a ballot that has to get passed by the electorate.
Yeah.
And so getting coming back and putting something else on a ballot,
it's not going to happen.
Necessarily going to be delayed.
Yep.
Now the Taxpayer Bill of Rights is something we can do legislatively through the tax package, and we can come back and address that as necessary. But the property tax, if we don't take our time and get that right, we're going to have a substantial problem that lingers.
Yeah. What do you think about as far as the kind of growth that we have here in the state, and a lot of things that have been happening? It's been incredible, and with the growth comes opportunity. Different people talk about things like data centers and the like, but then they also lean into the AI issue, and they're also looking at some of the protections that we're going to need and some of the things that we should be able to do, or can we? Have you looked into a lot of this?
Yeah, I'm the sponsor of the AI bill. It'll be up tomorrow.
Yes.
And I'm excited about it because what we've been able to do is we balance what we think is necessary restrictions that really need to be done at a federal level with consumer protections. And what my bill does is specifically target how do we protect the consumer against the use of AI in a more adversarial way. And how do you protect children? We did this with a social media bill where, if your child is an AI bot is talking to your child, you as the parent deserve to know that, and you as the parent must consent. And the child must know that too, because it needs to identify itself. So we're going to protect children, and then we're also going to protect, if somebody's using AI, your name, image, and likeness for some other purpose, you should have the ability to stop that as a consumer. And so what I've done is I think we've appropriately balanced what are the consumer protections versus the need for basically a national standard for restrictions, and we'll move through the protections now. And honestly, I think we have to do it now. If we waited, don't get me started on Congress, but if we waited for Congress to act, right? When is
don't
that
get
ever
any
gonna
of
happen?
us started on Congress now, to be quite honest.
So let's take the part that is the consumer protection part, and enact that now as a state. And if we get a federal standard later, great.
Yeah.
But right now, I think those kids and people deserve to be protected.
I like that you say that, because I think that's a view that people don't recognize enough, is that in some ways, people look to the federal government and they want them to come along and save the day, as it were, with regard to some of these bigger issues, forgetting full well that we could do things to protect citizens here in the state, and that focus needs to be there. We should be doing this. We should be taking the lead on this.
Now, listen, I'm a 10th Amendment guy, right?
Yeah.
So I believe that the federal government only has those powers that were expressly given to it. The rest are reserved to the state.
Right.
And if you look at what our founding fathers did, and what they said is that the state is really the hub from which all other government activity should emanate. That's what it is. Your cities and counties are going to be, in some cases, statutorily created. The federal government has limited authority. Now, over the years, they've stretched it through the Commerce Clause and other things to basically expand federal power. But really, the way it was designed is the states are the ones who should be active.
Right, and that's such an important point, considering that probably, I don't dare I say, maybe I'm off base on this, but I think some of the bigger. I mean, we've already seen some of the bigger issues that have been left up to the states where they should have been to begin
That's
with.
right.
You know, we can bring up one from a few years ago.
Sure.
And I'm sure that there will be more to come, especially with all this new technology, all of this new business, all of these new places that we're going to go where, again, why are we necessarily looking for the federal government to come in and save the day on these things when we should be doing it ourselves?
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, you know what we found in Florida is the laws that we pass end up becoming models for other
That's
states.
the point,
and
right?
the
Exactly.
feds pick it up and do the same thing.
We're doing it
So,
anyway.
Yeah, we're doing
right.
it anyway.
So, yeah, we might as well keep that up. We got a few more minutes. Do we have a few more minutes? Are we okay? Okay, great. I was just going to say, is there anything else that's going on that's that you've been watching, keeping an eye on, that you have going on?
Yeah, you know, I have something that's near and dear to my heart. It's the Jason Rayner Act. And the Jason Rayner Act, increases penalties for manslaughter against resisting an officer with violence. So if that officer dies in that process, it's mandatory life in prison. And it's important because I met with the Jason Rayner family this past summer. And I don't know if you know the story, but Jason Rayner, essentially Officer Rayner, approached a man behind an apartment complex to ask him if he lived there. He was sitting in his car. Man became agitated very quickly, pushed the car door open into Rayner after he was instructed to stay in the car, then pulled out a gun and shot Jason Rayner in the head, just like that. And the whole incident, the time between approaching, the man was named Otho Wallace, the time between approaching Mr. Wallace and the shot in the head took about as long as it's taken for me to describe what's happened here. So it was an instant. Right. And because of some confusion in the law, the jury ended up finding him guilty of manslaughter, which is lesser than murder, even though the guy had posted on his Facebook page, kill the cops, and a number of things that I just won't repeat on your radio that were atrocious. And the man, once he shot Jason Rayner, fled to Georgia, where he holed up in a tree home, armed to the teeth, waiting for people to come and get him. He was part of a group that was an anti-police group. So the idea that this guy would somehow be held to a lesser offense is insane. And quite frankly, I don't care whether you intended to kill the cop while you were resisting arrest with violence. You need to go to jail.
Right. Yeah. Life. So we are working on something.
That's right. I think we'll deliver that this year. I feel very confident that we'll be able to deliver that this year.
Okay. Well, this was fantastic. I'm so glad we had a chance to spend some time together. All the best. God bless.
Yeah,
good to
thank
see
you, sir. I appreciate it.
All right. That is Senator Tom Leek joining us here on Florida's Voice. A lot of great things that are going on here with the senator and so many others that are joining us here in Tallahassee. We appreciate a few minutes of their time here on Florida's Voice. 866-588-8303 is the phone number. Anytime you want to watch it, FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook, as we've got a lot that is going on here right now. Coming up in a couple of more minutes, we're going to have a conversation with all different kinds of people here today in Tallahassee. And so that's going to be coming up. Also, wanted to remind everyone about some of the news that is out there. The President of the United States, who had a lot to say today in regards to what has been going on here with the economy, what has been happening with tariffs. As a matter of fact, a little bit of what the President had to say earlier today with regard to Americans and food stamps. And he said,
think of it. We added $9 trillion of value to retirement accounts, savings accounts, and 401ks. That's during the course of 12 months. And I think it's probably 11 months because I don't think they have it for the 12. They have it for the 11. Added $9 trillion of value. Lifted more than 1.2 million Americans off food stamps in 1 year. They would have had another 1.2 million. We would have had, welfare would have gone up, and instead of investing $18 trillion in our country, now it's probably more than that.
Yeah.
But $18 trillion and having thousands of plants being built all over the country, you would have had thousands of plants closing all over the country, and you would have had disinvestment, and you would have had welfare going way up. If you look at SNAP, Take a look at Snap.
Yeah, and a lot of different issues with regard to what we've been trying to do here. The president, this administration. I don't know how you feel about tariffs, but the president making the argument today about how tariffs have been working, lifting 1.2 million off of food stamps. The president was talking about how we've slashed the federal budget deficit by 27% in a single year. How do we do that? Is it done because of the tariffs? Then we should be talking about this. And everybody said it couldn't be done, so that's happening. It's part of the president's recap of his first year of this brand new term. And he's also talking about how with the border right now, 100% basically, everything has changed. 8 months, 0 illegals admitted to the country, and a lot of great things that are taking place. We'll have more coming up in just a little bit. Live in Tallahassee, it's Drew Steele. This is Florida's Voice.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
I'm Chris Jakovic. I served in the United States Air Force, and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA, is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families, and one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and I have to tell you, when my wife and I talked about getting new kitchen countertops for our house, we know who to call. Rock Solid Countertops and More, 2240 J&C Boulevard in Naples. And they have been absolutely amazing. Hugo and the team are the best. The workmanship has been absolutely incredible. The install was so easy. The process was perfect. Taking everything out, bringing the new stuff in. The quartz countertop is unbelievably beautiful, and my wife is super happy, I'll tell you. You know they have the best quality and selection of marble, quartz, granite, and a one-stop shop for all of your kitchen, outdoor, and bathroom needs. I've known it for years. I've lived in Southwest Florida 40 years. There was really only one place I was going to go. It's Rock Solid Countertops and More. I would suggest you give them a call, 596-7676. They're at 2240 J&C Boulevard in Naples. Find out what they can do for you. Countertops, cabinets, plantation shutters, they do it all. Rock Solid Countertops and More.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into. And that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge. But it's also true, people are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-SHARE-40. 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 855-SHARE-40.
Since the dawn of time, man and wildlife have shared a connection, and hunting traditions passed down from generation to generation have connected man to the natural world, from bow and arrow to hook and bullet. As man evolved, our link to those traditions remain with them forever. Yet today, our basic instinct to provide and as part of the hunt to conserve and appreciate the natural world has fallen under attack for the first time in human history. The misguided politicians and radical activists pushing an agenda to end hunting as we know it, or leading a war against our heritage and their misguided policies and protests. They demonize hunters and belittle our way of life, the results of hunters leaving the sport in droves, while our wildlife and ecosystems suffer the consequences as conservation funding dries up. Named after the father of the North American model for wildlife conservation, the International Order of T. Roosevelt is fighting in the arena to protect and expand the rights of hunters everywhere. We will fight back against these forces to make sure that every American has a right to hunt, enshrined in their state constitutions. We will educate the next generation in our traditions and seek to expand accessibility so that everyone can enjoy our pastimes. And we will continue to hold true to our namesake's efforts to protect, preserve, and ensure open access to our nation's wild lands. Teddy Roosevelt's vision for American conservation defines our modern hunting and conservation system, a system upheld by the idea that conservation efforts are crucial to our hunting way of life, and that hunters are crucial to successful conservation.
To some, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much, but that's not true. They're testing out vowels and consonants and trying different sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on meaning, especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? It's time to shift gears and seize the fresh opportunities this new pro-business environment has to offer. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and the team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you, helping you go on the offense with advanced tax strategies, thoughtful risk management, and forward-thinking financial planning. Imagine enjoying the retirement lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve, all while staying one step ahead, and in a changing world, you've got to do it. Alfie and his team design personalized strategies to strengthen your financial foundation so you can focus on living life on your terms. Ready to find out more? Text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, you can call or text 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and see how a proactive approach can help you thrive no matter what the market does next. Don't wait. Call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470 right now.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
All right, we are live in Tallahassee, 4th floor in the Rotunda. Everybody's outside watching the Florida State marching band perform, and so it's kind of quiet in here. I don't even hear any marching bands outside. It's an amazing thing, but we have been blessed to be here today. We'll be back tomorrow for the second day of the second week of the legislative session. Somebody who is in the second day or the first day of the second week of the legislative session as far as being a Florida State Senator, Ralph Masulo, joining us right now on Florida's Voice, District 11. We were just talking about that on the air because off the air because I was saying, like, how has it been? Because I know you've been here for a while on the House side, and you reminded me that this is like the first day of the second week for you as well, right?
I think for a lot of people, it's like their first day all over again.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
You know, you experience the same things, Drew, that you did when you were in the House, only to a much larger extent.
Yeah.
You know, we have a third as many senators as we do House members. So we carry more bills here. And even though the responsibilities are the same, it seems like the workload's a lot more.
Yeah.
But it's great. It's a challenge. It's just a wonderful experience. And it's an honor to be able to serve the people in my community, my district, and this state.
Yeah.
We have such a great state, and we do so many great things.
I know. It's first of all, like I'm sure you feel the same way. Like there's nothing like bragging about the state of Florida. There's nothing like it. It's so awesome. You know, people are looking at us for leadership, obviously, and that's why. As I pivot here to the property tax issue, because we were talking about that off the air. That's another reason why, for me, getting it right is so important.
It is important. Philosophically, when you think about it, in a free society, you shouldn't have to continue to pay for the home where you live in.
Yeah.
Certainly, you shouldn't have to owe the government. If our founders would ever think that we would have to continue to pay tax on our property to continue to own it, we might have not even had the Revolutionary War. Think about it.
Yeah, that's true. And so when you have been talking to people about the property tax issue, as you've had ideas of your own, what do you think? What do you feel like would be a really good start, or a really good place to end up in the process?
I think we have to be extremely careful. We have to be careful that we don't compromise services that are required for us to just live.
Yeah.
You know, the primary function of government is to protect the people that they serve. And we can do that with the military. We also do that to make sure we have safe roads to drive on.
Yeah.
We make sure that we have low crime with a good police force. All those things we support through property tax. And we need to make sure our schools are adequately funded, whatever that means. But what it means to me as a legislator is that we have schools that produce children that have education where they can find a good job, they can have a great career, and they can be happy in their life. And all those things are important.
Yeah.
And so how do we do it? How do we do it? Well, we do it carefully. And we may have to do it incrementally. We may have to do it by raising the homestead exemption through a series of years. We may do it by finding an alternative revenue source for the taxes. But when we do that, we need to also consider constraining other sources of taxing, so we don't just sort of rob from Peter to pay Paul.
Right. Yeah, that's part of, as we talked about off the air, that's one of my biggest concerns right now is I would love to think that many people have thought this out up to this point over the years and have really good ideas as to where we're going to go, as opposed to let's see what flies, or not having enough evidence or data to prove that these are the right places to go. It can't be haphazard. It has to be specific and targeted properly. And ultimately, there's probably going to be certain groups that aren't going to be happy, or in some way, shape, or form be left out. But hopefully, they're not left out in the overall, which would be to be beneficial for everything in the state as far as municipalities go and what they can offer to their constituents.
You know, what you said initially, how we're proud of Florida.
Yeah.
And we could always brag on Florida.
Yeah.
Florida is a pioneer. And when we look at pioneers from the 1800s, what they did and where they went, oftentimes they didn't realize the consequences or the dangers that they faced. But they did it because they went for a goal. They went for a better life. Florida's been a pioneer in a lot of different things. We were a pioneer in universal school choice.
Right.
That program has had a lot of success. It also has had some issues. We've addressed those issues. As a matter of fact, in the first day that the session met in the Senate, one of the two bills that we passed was to reform the FEFP, to actually provide a separate categorical for the school voucher system. It was a little bit more clear, a little bit more easier to understand, a little bit more defined, and it actually gave definition and purpose and a little more function to those scholarship resource organizations that actually were doling out money. And so this way, the program is more effective. Now, did we know that initially? No, we didn't know how to do that initially, or we would have done it.
Right.
We found it out through experience. And I think I'm not going to call it an experiment, because I know the governor's office and I know the legislature is very deliberate in what we do and what we would put on the ballot for the voters. But it will be something that we can review, that we can test, and we can ensure that it works.
Right, because I think that's what many people have said to me is, what if there are some issues? How do we revisit it? How do we tweak it? What do we do once this, whatever it looks like, passes? It's a situation that people are concerned about. Have they said that same thing to you?
They have, and that's why I think it may be, and I don't know this for a fact, but it may be incremental.
Yeah.
Something we do this year, something we might do next year, and increase it in some way as going forward.
Okay. 1104, religious expression in public schools. Can I ask you about that?
Yes.
Because I think, well, first, let me ask you about it, and let's be specific about exactly what it is, and then I just wanted to expand on it.
In the last several years, we did a lot in our state to promote religious freedom, and particularly in the schools.
Yeah.
We allow prayer in the schools. We allow prayer before athletic games. I don't know if you saw the national championship last night on television.
I did.
In Miami.
I did.
And Miami didn't do so well.
No.
But at the beginning of that game, before the kickoff, it showed players in the end zone praying.
Mm-hmm.
And those type expressions should be just as legal and authorized in our state and what I believe our country as any freedom of speech. And what this particular bill does, it's a Senate resolution to actually go onto the ballot, to where people would basically say constitutionally, we have religious freedoms of expression in our schools the way we have any other freedom of expression, and using all the things that we've passed, putting it in the Constitution so it will be protected for, I'm hoping, eternity.
Yeah, no, that would be incredible. I think of some of the cases that have been out there previously and on a federal level, and some of the expression of faith that's been out there, and I think even of the news of this weekend and how our faith matters now. Well, it always matters, but more than ever because of how people are willing to disrespect it, how willing people are to disrupt it, and how willing people are to demand that it goes away under some guise of church and state. They're going to bring this up.
They have. The establishment cause had nothing to do with your freedom of expression.
Right.
It basically had to do with our country would never be a theocracy and force a religion on you or its people, like we see in certain parts of the world today. But exactly what you said is the reason that this bill is so important to me. So it's not just your ability to express yourself. It's the ability that you have to deal and think about other people. And if we had more people that could express faith, we would see more consideration for each other.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key in our country.
No, that sounds fantastic. All right, well, we're going to head off here, but before we go, I did want to say this. You have a great voice. Have anybody ever told you that he's got like a perfect radio voice?
You know, I wanted to be a singer, but I've been told by many people that that's not something.
I don't know if
do.
you can sing, but you can speak, and your voice is so calming. It's like I want you. Can you? I'm going to pull up a website. Would you just read this website for me, because I really want you to read it. Like, that's how good you sound. It's just it's amazing.
Well, thank you, Drew. I hope what I can do is good as I sound. How about that?
Well, God bless you. It was great to see you. Thanks for joining us today on Florida's Voice. Ralph Masulo joining us, Florida State Senator, District 11. Great to see him and doing already some great work out there. And it's only been day one of week 2. How about that? All right, 866-588-8303 is the phone number. I don't know, there are just people like that where you hear them speak and it's like, that guy's got a radio voice. That guy he could read the label on the water bottle for me if he wants to. I don't know. It's just one of those things. I'm on an island. All right, what else do we have going on here at Florida's Voice? Yeah, I know. Usually we do the top 5 audio clips of the day. We didn't do it today because we're in a special place here in Tallahassee with a lot going on. So I just wanted to get to some of what's been happening here, and then we can get to some clips right now. I mean, why not toss a couple of clips out there? First of all, we just heard a little bit earlier today. Very excited to share the news that Usha is pregnant with our 4th child, a boy. Usha and the baby are doing well, and we are all looking forward to welcoming him in late July. That's right, the Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance, and the First Lady, and his wife, Usha Vance, having a 4th child. Boy, again, that was a Freudian slip. Baby boy coming in July, so that is incredible. Big congratulations to them. That's great to hear. And then on the flip side of that, you have some things that are not so great to hear. For example, like this clip of audio. I didn't want to play this clip of audio, but this is what happens when you get into a situation where you have certain people that just do not want to necessarily listen to what is truth and fact and reason, and just want to continue to have people on certain programs because they have to make a political point. But I'm going to play it anyway. All right. So CNN, Scott Jennings again, the 15 millionth time that everyone from CNN to ABC to NBC to CBS to all the other lefty media outlets did not want to talk at all about what took place in the church in Minneapolis. They didn't want to tell the story about the anti-ICE rioters. They didn't want to go there. They wanted to make it about the Pentagon ordering 1,500 troops ready for possible Minnesota deployment. They kept doing this over and over and over again. It's all that they wanted to talk about. There was a segment with Cameron Kasky and Scott Jennings together as Cameron Kasky, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, went to school, right? Didn't he? He went to Parkland, yes. Okay, so he is the co-founder of March for Our Lives, Cameron Kasky, and went on to CNN to challenge, I guess, some of what is going on with the president, and took this position right here. Let me see if I can play this audio. Here you go. We got it? All right. Here it is.
I recognize you don't get to say the word illegals anymore.
But I don't. So we're talking about illegals and criminal illegals and trying to get them out of the country. Now, we're not allowed to use the word illegal anymore, apparently.
I recognize you don't get to say the word illegals anymore. But the percentage.
Who are you to tell me what I can and can't? I've never met you, brother. I can say whatever I want. They're illegal aliens, and that's what the law calls them, illegal aliens. That's what I'm going to call them.
Oh, my. Scott Jennings not having any of this today.
Right. Listen, you can't say illegals anymore because ICE is directly targeting legal citizens of this country. And how
are you going to enforce your edict on me, just out of curiosity?
Listen, I understand.
How are you going to enforce your edict on me, just out of curiosity? Wow. That was just an incredible moment. That's a couple of more I might play before we head out here in Tallahassee. Wow, that was incredible.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
I mean, what we're seeing around this country is they're using their political influence to attack people that disagree with them.
Okay.
They're going to come at me with charges, and I'm not scared of that. There's no base for these charges. I did not commit any. I did not block them from, their service. They welcomed us in. They never asked us to leave. The police never came in and removed us. So we didn't stop their service. In fact, people were still praying the entire time. The music was still playing the entire time. So, Pam Bondi, you want to come and arrest me? You want to come and give me charges?
So be it. And for all the people getting, giving me death threats, threatening my life,
kill me. Go ahead, kill me. Because you know what? As Fred Hampton said, you can kill the revolutionary, but you can't kill the revolution.
Anything to save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE 40. 855-SHARE-40.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, if you're looking to take advantage of today's pro-business environment and strengthen your financial future, certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group have got you covered. They specialize in advanced tax strategies, risk management, and retirement planning, all aimed at helping high net worth investors like you thrive. Now, Alfie wants to share those insights with you with his book, Keeping You on the Retirement Fairway. It's packed with practical tips and forward-thinking strategies to help you make the most out of your hard-earned wealth. Ready to get your free copy? Text BOOK to 239-747-7470. That's 239-747-7470.
Don't wait. Learn how to capitalize on that pro-business opportunities that are out there right now and secure the confident retirement you deserve. Once again, text BOOK to 239-747-7470 right now and let Alfie Townsend and Advantage Retirement Group help guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at USO.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at USO.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
What a way to finish this playoff, 16-0.
The 2026 college football national champions, Coach Kurt.
Well, whatever. I don't care. I don't care. I don't want to hear it. I'm sorry. I can't do it, D. I'm sorry. I know you want it. It's a big story, and it was the national championship yesterday, and you got to play. No, I can't. I can't do it. I'm sorry. Okay, great. All right, maybe it was a Cinderella story. Maybe the century that the Indiana Hoosiers football team has been around. It's been lousy at best, and they have no national championships. Miami Hurricanes have 5. Just saying. Anyway, all right, so it was a perfect record there, and there you go. They're the national champion Indiana Hoosiers. Whatever. I can't. I just can't play any more audio. I'm sorry. Congratulations to him, but it just made me sick to my stomach. It was really hard to sleep. And watching the game yesterday. So I don't really want to talk about it anymore. Let's talk about something else. Like, would you write a song begging the internet to hire your wife if she needed work? I don't know. This guy did. Right?
Somebody hire my wife. My wife is an attorney. She's a lot smarter than me. She's looking for legal work in Chicago or remote.
Okay, I can't do it. I can't do that either. I'm sorry. That's 2 things I can't do. I can't do the Indiana Hoosiers national champion. I'm sorry. You may be an Indiana Hoosier fan, but I can't do it. And I can't do this dude who's a TikTok musician who's going viral because he wrote a song about his wife's resume. She's a lawyer looking for work in Chicago, and apparently I guess she's got now a few interviews because there are people on TikTok in Chicago who just happen to have law firms who are like, hey, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for some dude who sings, his wife. That I don't know. I guess it worked. So that's He's like, it sounds so negative. I don't know. It's just the Indiana Hoosier thing, and that's why I'm negative. I'm sorry. It's because I was so excited. I thought this was... All right, I'll go back to the national championship game, and forgive me. I'm sorry, but when you're the Miami Hurricanes and you have an opportunity, it just happens to be at the pulling of a piece of paper and the picking out of a hat, the chance to win the national championship in your home stadium. It just felt like it was meant to be. Indiana Hoosiers. It was like the New England Patriots against the New York Giants back in the day when everybody was like, there's no way. It just felt like there was a way. Yes, way. And I just felt like it was inevitable, and it was so close. And then the block punt, and then I was like, I think I got to go to bed now. I couldn't do it after that. But I stayed up, and I did, and yeah. So that's all. There were just some things that felt inevitable. And then when you have that feeling of, oh, wow, this is the Cinderella story, and then all of a sudden it's like, and it doesn't Cinderella your story, and then a little sad. All right, so listen, thanks to everybody for stopping by today, stopping by the table here in Tallahassee, 4th floor of the Florida Capitol is where we're broadcasting live from today. We will be back here tomorrow for the last day of our broadcast here from the legislative session. So we're looking forward to that. Lots of great guests that are going to be hanging out and joining us as well. I'm sure there's crazy that's going on around the world that we got to keep an eye on, not just the crazy that's happening here, but we will be doing that as well. Looking forward to it. Anytime you want to watch at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook. And a big, big, big thank you to all of our affiliates across the state of Florida who trust this radio program with their valuable time. We thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of your community and your broadcast day. All right, we're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. My name is Drew Steele. This is Florida's Voice.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through